Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. Your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. We are going to do something pretty cool today. We are actually going to go to every AFC city still remaining in the NFL playoffs. We'll take a closer look at their games coming up. We're going to preview the 4 playoff games that we have coming up momentarily. We'll talk a little college basketball today. Kansas plays later today against Baylor in a home game. Rob, again, a season ticket holder for Kansas basketball, has once again sold his tickets. Rob is not telling you, while also telling you that he does not have much faith in this year's version of the Kansas Jayhawks. He didn't go earlier in the week. He's not going late in the week. At this point, the only game he's going to is the BYU game. Everybody's going to that game. So we got to talk about that. We'll talk about Missouri this weekend. They got a road game against LSU. LSU is not a good basketball team. If you were trying to build a championship resume, you can't just win your home games. You got to try to win these games as well if you want to find a way inside the NCAA tournament. We got a lot of college basketball and playoff to get to in today's show. But before we do any of that, I need to remind you guys of a couple of things. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I would greatly appreciate it. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to remember that the open of the show each day is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place. We got, count them, 4 playoff games on Saturday and Sunday. That's not even counting the national championship in college football coming up on Monday. So we got a very busy 3-day weekend, so to speak, when it comes to football. So if you want to catch up with the game, if you want to get a bite to eat, if you want to grab something to drink, then stop by and see our friends over at The Other Place. All right, why don't we go down the line here to kick off the show, and we're going to head to New England coming up in about 15 minutes or so. But why don't we just go down the line and give you our early thoughts on the 4 games that we have coming up this weekend in the National Football League. The first one is between the Bills and Broncos. Now, sometimes I think I can read you guys' mind. I am one of you. I understand how you think. But heading into this matchup, honestly, I don't really know who you guys are rooting for between the Bills and the Broncos. Now, maybe I'm off in this. And again, you can tell me, 913-586-7965. I think for this week, you are rooting for the Buffalo Bills. I think next week you will be rooting for whoever is playing the Buffalo Bills. As much as you don't like Josh Allen, and as much as you don't like this Buffalo team, I think you dislike Denver that much more. So if those two guys are going up against one another, I think this week you can live with Josh Allen winning this game, but next week you much rather see Drake May, you much rather see CJ Stroud, and I do think the Chiefs fans feel a little bit of sense of satisfaction that Josh Allen has not gone to the Super Bowl, and maybe he ends up getting one. You're not going to be encouraging him along the way to go get a Super Bowl. There were some tweets that we read a couple of weeks ago that have been kind of replaying in the back of my mind. It was Broncos fans' frustration with how they finished out the season and what that was going to mean for them heading into the playoffs. The Broncos earned it by being the 1 seed, but they have a nice little refresh here. You're the home team. You've had time to game plan. You've had time to scheme. You have a time to maybe fix some of the things that you didn't finish strong with to close out the season. Let's see what happens here, because it's interesting. Buffalo was the early favorite, and now the line has switched on the other side, and now Denver is a slight favorite in this one. I think Buffalo is winning this game. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that Denver has been the much more complete team throughout the season, but I'm just not at a place where I trust Bo Nix, where I trust their offense enough to be able to go out there and win this game. and maybe I'm buying too much into what I saw last week, but I trust Josh Allen in this spot to go on the road and beat this Broncos team. Next week, it's a completely different beast if they got to go potentially to Houston, and we know that Josh Allen has struggled historically against the Texans and their defense, or going on the road to play another game in their division against New England Patriots. But if you're asking me right now, make my pick, make my prediction, I think Buffalo's going to the AFC Championship game. I've told you guys this for a few weeks. I don't believe in the Denver Broncos. I don't like the way they finished the season. They played very poorly on Christmas Day against Kansas City. They played very poorly in their finale against the Los Angeles Chargers. I just don't think you can turn it on that way. And I think you're asking the Broncos, now that it's the playoff time, to become a team that they're not. I just don't trust their ability to do that. I'm going to take Buffalo to go on the road and win this weekend in the second round of the playoffs, and we'll see who Buffalo would play in the AFC Championship game. When it comes to San Francisco and Seattle, I like San Francisco in this game. Now, I understand they're a massive underdog in this one, and Seattle will probably win, but I give Kyle Shanahan a lot of credit for his ability to be able to put that team together and just go out there and really win off the strength of how well coached and disciplined they are. Brock Purdy did a lot of things to lose last week's game, and I didn't see San Francisco flinch at all. I saw them stay steady. I saw them keep their head down and keep pushing forward, and ultimately they ended up going on the road and getting a win. They're going to have Trent Williams for this one. I think Fred Warner is going to play at least in some capacity coming up on Sunday. I don't think he'll be this Fred Warner of old. I don't think he's going to play his normal majority of snaps, but I think he's going to be able to come in and help. And I'm sorry, I'm just not evolved enough where I'm now trusting Sam Darnold when it comes to playoff games. I understand that they're the favorite. I think they should be the favorite. I think Seattle has shown you, at least so far, that they have been the best team in the National Football League. Maybe I'm letting my bet blind me because I have a bet on San Francisco to make the Super Bowl. I thought they were going to end up being the 1 seed. They certainly had their chance. I don't know, man. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than the spread indicates. They're a big favorite. I mean, Seattle is almost as big of a favorite as Indiana is in the national championship game. Seattle's a 7.5 point favorite. I don't know, man. Divisional matchup, a Saturday night. I think San Francisco is going to keep that game a lot closer. I think that game is going to be a little bit more interesting. And I could just see maybe late in the game, San Francisco just runs out of steam. They might not have the bodies to be able to finish this thing out. With the way that Seattle plays defense, with the way they run the football, with how well coached they are, I think there's a chance they can just outlast San Francisco. And this ends up being a game very similar to a couple of weeks ago in the Saturday game, that Seattle ends up winning this game 17-13, but San Francisco covers the spread. Let's head to the two matchups that we have on Sunday. We have Houston going on the road to New England. New England is a 3-point favorite. I don't trust C.J. Stroud in this game. That's really what it comes down to me. There's no question about the defense. There's no question. I think this is the best defense we've seen since the Broncos in 2015. I think Houston has a Legion of Boom, Von Miller-led 2015. This isn't the 2000 Ravens. That's on a category of its own. But that next tier of modern-day defenses, that's a team that just completely gets after you with their front four. They don't really pull a lot of frills. There's not a lot of punches involved. It's a team that just gets after the quarterback with their front four, creates problems on the back half when it comes to their secondary, and just flies around and makes plays. Going on the road and beating Pittsburgh is one thing. I don't think Pittsburgh is that good. You didn't think Pittsburgh was that good. Going on the road and beating this New England team, I think, is a little bit different conversation. It's probably going to be low scoring because all of these Texans games have ended up being low scoring. But I don't think you can count on getting the points on defense that Houston has gotten so far. Houston, for, I would say, as decent as they've been in the playoffs, they've never been to the AFC Championship game. I like New England. I'm going to take New England to take care of business at home in the early game on Sunday. And then the nightcap on Sunday, we got the Rams and the Bears. I think there's a chance that the Bears get the beats. I think there is a chance that the clock has struck midnight. Now, I've said that about this Bears team for the last 3-4 weeks, and I've just been wrong at every single turn. So I don't mind continuing to double down and triple down, and then eventually, hopefully, possibly, I end up being right. I think the Bears did just about everything they could to lose last week, to the Green Bay Packers, and they ultimately ended up winning. I think that's been the case for much of the season. I think the Rams are a more complete team. I think they're better at quarterback. I think they're better at coach. I think they have more weapons. I also think that they're going to be able to exploit the Bears defense that you've given Sean McVay time to really look at and scheme. I think there's a chance that the Rams take care of business. I think there's a chance that the Rams beat them like 27-17, beat them 31-17, that it is very, very clear that there is a difference between the kind of team that I think the Rams are right now and the kind of team that I think Chicago is right now. So those are our early thoughts on all four games. We'll bounce around as the show progresses, getting you ready for an exciting divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Coming up on the other side, we take our first trip of the day. We head to New England to catch up with the Patriots. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-8877. 800-885-8877. Again, that's 800-885-8877.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the divisional round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in, take a shot on an upset, or build a parlay that fits the moment. For me, I'm a Josh Allen believer, and I do not believe for 1 second in Bo Nix. So give me the Bills minus 1.5 in Denver. Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/local and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see KC's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Chick-fil-A's new frosted sodas and floats. It's a 10 out of 10. Hey, this is Lizzie, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You will love having your favorite soda blended with our creamy ice stream to make a new frosted soda or float. With the mix of the ice stream and soda fizz, it's so delicious, I call it Fizzalicious.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C. Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Adam Kaufman. He covers the New England Patriots for NESN Nesson in Boston, getting you ready for their matchup coming up on Sunday. They have a home game against the Houston Texans. Adam, how you doing today, my man?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing? How you handling the fact that for 1 year you feel like we did for the last few with no playoffs?
That is a great question. If I'm being completely transparent with you, there is a small part of me that's like, man, the last 7 years in January have been so busy that it feels like now this is a little bit of a vacation. I don't want them to do this every single year. I don't want to completely be out of the playoffs. But, man, they've been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. Having this little January be a little bit different, it has been a nice little break.
This is where you know you are, because we've been there, right? The Patriots were, dominant for 2 decades straight, and you guys have had this incredible run that obviously is, I don't think, is over yet, but on hiatus for a year. This is how you know you're spoiled rotten, is when you do get that little, oh, they're not in the playoffs, and it's like, yeah, I'm happy for those guys. Like, good for them, right? You just get pompous about it. I'm telling you, it doesn't last forever, though.
No, for sure. And as I'm watching football, I'm like, man, I kind of miss when the Chiefs were in this playoff. It was certainly January was certainly a lot easier when I had playoff football to talk about. So let's start with this. Let's start with Sunday Night Football. New England didn't look great in their first playoff game, but they did figure out a way to win. How are you feeling? Where are you at after watching them advance past the wild card round?
All right, well, bigger picture, if I'm just looking at that game and kind of what it meant, because we've talked about this along the way, that, a lot of people looked at the Patriots 4 wins 2 years ago under Belichick, 4 wins last year under Mayo. They jumped to 14 in year 1 under Mike Vrabel, and, of course, nationally the narrative is the schedule, and who have they beaten? They've got that one good win against the Bills in terms of playoff teams, and the other time they faced them, they blew a 21-point lead. So how good is this team? And look, if the Patriots had lost to the Chargers, nobody around here would have said, oh, season's a failure, because clearly they overachieved by a massive margin. The win total going into the year was 8.5. They won 14 games. But people would have been fully right to be sitting there disappointed and upset and feeling like there was something, as a home favorite in the wild card round, you are expected to win that game, much the same, by the way, against the Texans now in the divisional round. But, the big picture element of it is winning that game, I think, just kind of validated the season, right? You get into the dance and you have a good opponent, obviously an offensively inconsistent, and Herbert with the finger injury and they shattered offensive line, all of that, but still a really good defense on the other side that no one's going to sit there and say that's not a good opponent. So for the Patriots to go out there, win that game, lower scoring, kind of a defensive rock fight, I think this upcoming game is going to be similar to that. I think that was just kind of the okay. Now, from a fan perspective, you've got the it's all house money now. They won the one they really had to satisfy everyone and silence some of the critics, the doubters, and now let's see what they can do as they're into the Elite Eight, if you will. And look, internally, though, none of that is the conversation. These guys are not satisfied. They are looking at really shocking people, and in a field in both conferences, but especially the AFC, that is as wide open as it is, with no Mahomes and no Lamar and no Burrow even. There's Josh Allen, but any of these 4 teams that are remaining are capable of making a run.
And that's a very, very unique place. It's funny because we were having that conversation here at the office, and someone said, oh, I think this is the weakest Final Four that we've had. And I was making the point that you're making. Man, I'm excited about it because I can make a case for all 4 teams in the AFC winning, where usually there's one game, it's Kansas City playing Jacksonville, it's Kansas City playing Cleveland, and we all know that Kansas City is going to the AFC Championship game. You guys had that with Tom Brady. You guys will play in that second round. It was a foregone conclusion that you were going to the AFC Championship game, so I am very excited about that. Fast forward, you're in New England. This is a home game. What's the feeling and emotion heading into this one? Because you got a very young quarterback playing in his second postseason game, but he's going up against one of the best defenses that we've seen maybe in the last 10 years or so. This is the defense that can get after the quarterback. This is the defense that can take the ball away, and this is the defense that can score. How do you feel about Drake May going up against that Texans defense?
Yeah, on the one hand, I feel like there's a lot of all of what you just said and people talking about this team like it's the 85 Bears or something like that, and they're not. I mean, win something, right? It's an incredible defense. It's the number one rated defense. They've got all pros all over the place, an incredible defensive front, multiple guys, Hunter Anderson with double-digit sack seasons. I mean, Drake May is going to be under siege. There's no doubt about it. But in terms of the overall feel going into the game, I think you look at it and say, confidence, not cockiness, right? If it were the Steelers, I would have been sitting here treating this like it were a freaking bye week, to be perfectly honest with you. Another tomato can, as a popular writer, Dan Shaughnessy around here, has said for years about these inferior opponents that come into Foxborough as a little, stepping stone on the way to the AFC title game. That's not what the Texans are. But if I'm ranking the units, right, the main units, the big four, if you will, take special teams out of it, I'm going Texans defense 1, then I'm going Patriots offense, and then I'm going Texans Patriots defense, and then really a distant fourth with no Nico Collins for me is the Texans offense. This is not an impressive offense. I know there were 30 points last week against Pittsburgh, but there was a pick six that created 7 of those. There, was a late surge in the fourth quarter. That game was 7-6 going into the fourth quarter. That thing absolutely could have gone either way. I just don't. I'm 10 straight wins. I realize it's not a team to be taken lightly, but if you want to dive into advanced metrics and QBR and all this, like I heard somebody say earlier, yeah, QBR for C.J. Stroud with Nico Collins and his full complement is up over 80, right? The ESPN stat for essentially passer rating, QB rating that takes EPA into account and all of that. Without Collins, who we don't know officially, but he's not going to play. I mean, he hasn't practiced all week because of this concussion. They're not going to throw him out there, especially on short rest having played on Monday. That QBR drops down to around 60. It's just not the same offense. Couple that with, again, the lack of other weapons, but also the run game. Is Woody Marks going to go for the century mark again? I mean, he just did it for the first time in his entire career here in this last game against Pittsburgh. He hadn't topped 70 or so in any other game this year. And sure, Nick Chubb can be a weapon, but let's remember the Patriots' run defense is excellent, as is obviously the Texans on the other side. I just think this is going to be, I used the phrase already in talking about the Chargers game, kind of a defensive slog, a lower scoring rock fight that, maybe first 1 to 20 wins kind of thing. I think that's the type of game we're looking at. And I think the Patriots are the superior overall team.
I'll get you out of here with this last thing. I'm picking the Patriots to win this game. A major reason why I'm picking them is I just don't believe in C.J. Stroud. This is a team in Houston that feels like they are very much carried by their defense. And if New England can avoid the big mistake that Pittsburgh was unable to avoid, you're right, it was a very close game. Rodgers fumbles. Rodgers throws a pick six. Next thing you know, you look up, and it looks like Houston has really been dominating the game, but it's not really the flow of the game if you were watching and following it. I think it really comes down to, we know the Texans are going to try to force the big mistake. Can Drake May stay away from it? And if he stays away from it, I expect the Patriots to advance.
Well, so I'll take it a step further. For me, it kind of, everything you said is true, but it kind of comes back to the defense, right? I mean, the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers had a pick six. That was a problem. That was the Texans taking advantage of a mistake. C.J. Stroud had an interception and fumbled the ball 5 times. Only 2 of them were lost, but still, that's 3 turnovers from your quarterback. The Steelers couldn't take advantage of any of it. Drake May in this last game against the Chargers, he fumbled twice, lost one of them, was also intercepted. The Chargers didn't score any points. Justin Herbert loses the ball. The Patriots turn that into points. So, ultimately, is the defense going to make a stand if and when your quarterback or someone on your offense does make that error? Or are you not able to capitalize? And ultimately, I think that's going to be the story in this game. The Texans team, if you don't really watched them regularly and you only watched on Monday and you just turnover after turnover and all of this, it's easy to forget the fact this squad they were plus 17 turnover differential this year. That was second in the NFL. That's incredible. I mean, Patriots were positive, but they were close to even. Wasn't a wide margin. So if the Texans are not giving the ball away, as they obviously did in that last game, Patriots are going to have to create some opportunities on offense that are not going to be easy. If they do slip up again, I think enough of Drake May and those around him to be able to take advantage of that. But is either defense going to make a stand? You know, we saw the Texans against the Steelers do it. We saw the Patriots against the Chargers do it. Now what happens in this one?
I got to ask you about the other team in your division, the Buffalo Bills. They go on the road to play the Broncos. It's funny because when the line first opened, Buffalo was favored. It is now flipped completely. Denver is the favorite. I think we're going to see an AFC East rematch. I think the AFC Championship game is going to be New England as the home team and the Bills as the road team. How do you see it playing out this weekend?
I agree with you entirely. I already bet the Bills. I waited for it to flip, and I bet the Bills plus 1.5. Or you can take the money line, get even money, slight plus money either way. I think that's the play. This Broncos team, and I've been saying it all year. There's a little. I'm not going to dismiss a team that has 14 wins. That's a great regular season. It's an incredible regular season. But there's a little bit lacking there for me, where it's like, okay, prove it. I don't think Bo Nix is, I don't want to say he's a bad quarterback, but he certainly wasn't in his sophomore year what he was in his first year in the NFL. I think that offense has regressed. One difference, for all the schedule stands, and by the way, the Broncos, it wasn't like it was the hardest schedule in the world by any means either. The Patriots, at least, when they went up against bad teams, they destroyed them week after week. The Broncos were surviving teams. Won that game 13-11 against the Jets overseas. They needed 33 fourth-quarter points at home to come back and beat the Giants. Like that, against some bad teams, the Broncos were just barely squeaking by. The Bills are a good team and a motivated team. You think Josh Allen hasn't heard all the noise about how this is your time? You don't have all those other guys that we referenced before. Sean McDermott might be coaching for his job if they can't get through this field and at least make a Super Bowl, let alone win it. He's well aware of what's going on. And so is it a stacked Bills team? It's not. They're two guys, really. It's Allen, it's Cook. I mean, it's not a particularly great defense on the other side. It's your two stalwarts on offense. But, man, they just make plays. Allen hurt the finger, hurt the knee, I think it was, back in that game against the Jaguars. Guy still led a game-winning drive at the end. And, of course, Trevor Lawrence was picked off to end it. It just so perfectly encapsulated both of those team seasons in terms of what you expect in the clutch from those franchises. And so I'm just not counting out Josh Allen. Josh Allen, of all the quarterbacks that are left in the field, both conferences, he's the best. He's the Goliath that you got to slay. And I'm with you. I think we're going to see a rematch, round 3, Patriots-Bills in Foxborough coming up in a week.
That is Adam Kaufman joining us on the show. He covers the New England Patriots for Nesson in Boston. Adam, hopefully we talk to you next week. That means you guys advanced. Appreciate your time, man.
I hope so.
Absolutely. That is Adam Kaufman joining us on the show today. Rob, why don't we stay here? Why don't we continue talking about Texans and Patriots? Very intrigued by that matchup. We dove into it a little bit earlier in the week. Let's get back to it. Let's talk a little bit more about C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud has had a very interesting start to his career because his rookie season, that's as strong of a rookie year that we've seen from a quarterback in a while. C.J. Stroud's rookie year, he completed 64% of his passes, threw for 4,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He had a 100 quarterback rating at 22 years old. Stroud looked like he was prepared to take that next step and take the big jump and be one of the stars of the National Football League. High draft pick, large city, went to a big-time college. Like, all the things felt like it was coming together for Stroud to kind of be that guy. The next season, he took a big dip. He threw for 3,700 yards, threw fewer touchdown passes, doubled up on interceptions. This past year, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and you could argue that they were just as good when they had Davis Mills, when they had Davis Mills as their starting quarterback as they were when they had C.J. Stroud. So his career, it feels like in some ways it peaked when he was 22 years old. Usually, this is the time, especially with the top 5 pick like CJ Stroud. At the end of this year, the agent is calling, and you got to figure out what the long-term plan is going to be. I just don't know how you could watch CJ Stroud, look at the defense that you've put together, and pay him. I heard Danny give this quote out. In CJ Stroud's 3 playoff wins, the Houston Texans offense has scored 32 points, and the Houston Texans defense has scored 32 points. They did not win that wild card game because CJ Stroud was their starting quarterback. That team would have won that game with a lot of other people as their starting quarterback. They won that because they have been able to build the best defense in the National Football League. Can you do that if you give CJ Stroud what the market says that he's worth? And what the market says that CJ Stroud is worth is 5 years, at least $225 million. I just don't know how in good faith you can watch this quarterback. You can look at how those contracts have played itself out for the rest of the league. I don't know how in good faith you could then this offseason offer him what Justin Herbert got, 5 years, $260 million. I don't care how many wild card rounds you've won. I don't care how many AFC South championships you've won. That's on CJ Stroud's rookie contract. That's not what we're talking about anymore. You've gotten the value out of the rookie deal. We're talking about paying him like he's Joe Burrow, despite no one thinking that he's Joe Burrow. It's about paying him like he's Justin Herbert, like he's these other guys, and he just hasn't shown that ability. I would not pay CJ Stroud this offseason. I don't really care how the season ends for Houston. I'm letting him play out year 4. We're going to pick up the 5th-year option, and we can always make that decision later on. Sometimes I feel like teams, they feel like they got to jump now and get the best value. No, I'm not worried necessarily about the value. I'm worried about the information. And if you're going to tell me that right now we got to commit $150 million guaranteed to CJ Stroud, I need way more information than what I've seen, because what we have seen is a quarterback who has regressed every year he has come back to the National Football League. I'm not rolling that dice on year 4 on a substantially bigger cap hit.
I agree, he's regressed, and I honestly don't understand the why. Like, his rookie year was good. He was a good player his rookie year. He won a playoff game his rookie year. Like, it was exciting times in Houston, and there was a thought that, oh, maybe it's CJ Stroud next up in the NFL. And he has really, really fallen from grace. Is he the worst quarterback remaining in the postseason? It's he or Bo Nix, right? Like, I'm not the world's biggest Brock Purdy fan, but I think you get to take Brock Purdy over CJ Stroud. I know you're not the world's biggest Sam Darnold fan, but Sam Darnold has been better than CJ Stroud the last couple of years. Like, I think he might be the worst available quarterback in the postseason, which is crazy to think that we're 2 years removed from, oh, wow, he's next type of energy.
There was a swagger and a confidence that rookie CJ Stroud played with that this version doesn't play. He looked like he didn't have a whole lot of answers on Monday night when we were watching him. And he's kind of played like that this year. He has just made some real questionable decisions and just had a look on his face of he doesn't seem to know how to get himself out of it. I don't know if it's a new offensive coordinator. I don't know if it's a new quarterback coach. That team could certainly use to invest a little bit more on the offensive line. Man, I feel like when we have these quarterbacks, these conversations, man, you're not going to have the best O-line in the NFL, the best running game, the best wide receivers. Like, you got to make more with less sometimes, especially if you want to take up 15% of our salary cap. You want us to pay you like you're Trevor Lawrence. Well, if we're paying you 5 years, $275 million, man, that money's got to come from elsewhere. That means you can't have all the things and take all the money. You got to choose which one you want more.
And also, speaking of doing more with less, this just came across. He's not going to have Nico Collins against the Patriots this weekend, who's officially out with a concussion. I know the Texans' defense is formidable. I know the Patriots looked, like iffy against a beat-up bad Charger team last week. I don't know how you can bet C.J. Stroud to go into New England and win. I just don't. I think everything you're saying about C.J. Stroud is why people are pointing to the Patriots in this game. I don't think it's because the Patriots are world beaters. I don't think it's because, man, the Patriots just can't be stopped. It seems pretty simple to me. C.J. Stroud is a giant question mark, and now he's on the road against what appears to be superior opponent. I don't care how good Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are. I don't know you can bet C.J. Stroud because it is major regression city over his NFL career.
I just think if you're going to give out one of those quarterback contracts, you have to ask yourself, does this contract make our team better? And I feel like a lot of these deals are coming from a place of fear. We didn't have a quarterback. Now we feel like we got a decent one. We don't know how great he is, but we think he can grow into it. You got to give me the example of a team paying a player like C.J. Stroud, and then in the end, we feel like that contract has worked out for them. Now, I know we don't have too many examples on the other side, and the argument is going to be, well, if you don't have C.J. Stroud, well, then what do you have? And I do think that's a very, very fair point. I don't think Houston is in this position because of their quarterback that threw for 3,000 yards and had 19 touchdown passes this season. That's not why I think they are in the divisional round. That's not why I think they can win this game. I would be very surprised if C.J. Stroud came and balled out in this game. I'd be very surprised if that was the case. Now, could he kind of move out of the way and not be the reason you lose? Sure. There's absolutely a possibility in that. I would be very, very surprised if on Monday when we all get back together, if the feeling is Houston won because their quarterback made plays down the stretch. I just don't think he's that kind of quarterback, and their team is not built that way.
If you don't think their quarterback can make those plays, and by the way, I feel the same. I'm not saying like, oh, I think C.J. Stroud's going to make the plays. I don't think he can either. You can't give them much chance on this weekend against New England.
I'm not picking them, no.
I'm going to say, their defense is awesome. I don't know that it's, like you said, I don't know if it's 2015 Denver good, but I think it is the best defense we've seen in a long, long time in the NFL, and I'm giving them very little shot. I don't think it's a fun-looking game. I don't think – if you're the type of person that's looking for something to do and you're like, I'm going to build my schedule around this game, don't. Go live your regular life, and if this game's on in the background of what you're doing, cool. But I just don't know you can, in the playoffs, bet on a team, hey, they're going to really defense it up, and if their quarterback can just not fail, they're going to win your way to a playoff victory in 2026. That may have worked in – what year was the Ravens? 2000, 2001? It does not work in 2026.
So you told me that we needed to play this audio, but you didn't label the audio. I don't know what kind of tricks and shenanigans you're trying to pull, but you told me we were going through the show rundown, we were going through everything, and you said you need to play this audio today. And I was like, hey, what is it? You said, I'm not going to tell you. So we're going to play it here. We got a little bit of time here before the break. I'm happy to listen to you. You're our producer, so I'm trusting you to produce good content. Let's play this clip that Rob has is unmarked.
If you would have seen Wally Zerbiak and Roy Hibbert talking about Darren Peterson last night, you would have understood why he's going to be the number one pick in the 2026 NBA draft. He has barely played this season, but he just moves differently than everybody else. He looks different than everybody else. Like literally last night on Inside College Basketball, as Brent Stover was pressing Wally Zerbiak on it, like Wally, so Wally, what do you? He's like, you can see it. I see it. I know what it looks like. I've guarded Kobe Bryant, and that's what it looks like. Like Wally Zerbiak was in All-Star games with Kobe Bryant, and he's watching that last night, and he's like, that's what it looks like. Look at his arms. Look at the way he moves. It almost looks like everybody else is playing full speed and he's playing 80% speed, but he's still getting wherever he wants to go. We were at Big 12 Media Day. I sat down, did a one-on-one with Darren Peterson, sat down, did a one-on-one with Bill Self. Afterwards, cameras off, and me and Matt and Orlando are just hanging out with Bill Self. He's like, did you talk to Darren? I'm like, yeah. What do you think? Seemed awesome. Impressive. He's like, yeah. I said, talk to me about him. I've seen DeBonsa a lot. I would take him number one. Why does everybody else say Darren Peterson? And Bill said things like, I'm just telling you, we've been in scrimmages. And he knocks down 10 of 11 threes. And that's not even the best part of his game. Nobody can stay in front of him. Nobody can see what he sees. Okay, but what kind of teammate is he? The best. How is he to coach? The best. Work ethic? The best.
I had not heard this clip, Rob. Obviously, this clip is very important to you. This is a very important clip to you. I'll move out of the way. I mean, that's Gary Parrish. You know, I got all the respect in the world for Gary Parrish. This is a guy that knows AAU basketball as well as anybody. This is a guy that knows college basketball as anybody. That's what he's hearing. That's how he's feeling about Darren Peterson.
I'm just going to say this. I'm going to knock on wood. I feel like we're coming out of the Darren health struggles because you're seeing in Big 12 play, he is averaging 28 minutes a night.
He's playing, every game. He's playing now at this point. Yeah, he's playing.
Is, meanwhile, averaging 24 points a night in 28 minutes. I think now it's time to start talking about the player I was talking about in September. He is a star. And if you are thinking to yourself, hey, there's some snow in the forecast, it's kind of cold tonight, I got nothing going on, pop on Big Fox, Gus Johnson on the call, and enjoy Darren Peterson absolutely cooking tonight. His over-under on FanDuel is 22.5. You want to make some free money. Darren Peterson is becoming the player I talked about in August, September, October, Carrington.
All right, why don't we put a pin in this? I'm happy to come back to this conversation. We got to step aside. We're going to head to Houston here to learn a little bit more about that defense. But let's put a pin in this, because I have a big grandiose statement to say about Darren Peterson that may surprise you. So we'll come back to this. We're going to head to Houston, Texas next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
What's good, y'all? It's Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP, Sagmaster, and now your host of Free Range. This is where NFL meets real talk. Every week, I'm bringing you inside the game, from locker room stories to league-wide headlines. You want football IQ, locker room insight, and real conversations with the people shaping the league? Welcome to Free Range with Von Miller, where nothing is off limits and every down counts. New episodes every Wednesday. Listen and follow Free Range with me, Von Miller, wherever you get your podcast.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Dane and Hughes here, and it's playoff time, and there's no better place to bet the chase for the championship than Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be. Whether you're betting championship or conference futures, sides, totals, or prop bets for every round, there's no better place to make your bets throughout January all the way to the big game. Circa Sports, with high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
With 2 kids in high school involved in a lot of activities, our time, just like yours, is very valuable. That's why we love the convenience of ordering our groceries with Hy-Vee's Aisles Online. It's so easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store and select your items, and Hy-Vee will do all the shopping. All you have to do is pick up your order or have it delivered to your home. It is so simple. It is so convenient. And for families like ours that are so busy, Hy-Vee Aisles Online hits the spot every single time. Save time and save money only at Hy-Vee.
Brr, it might be cold outside, but the deals are heating up inside your Kansas City area Hy-Vee. This Friday through Sunday, stock up on hot deals throughout the entire store, like Pepsi 6-pack bottles for $2.99, bone-in pork roast $1.88 a pound, Hormel bacon just $2.99, and Progresso soup only $1.25. Stay at home, order through Aisles Online, and leave the shopping to us. Save time, save money during the 3-day sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Hey, it's Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Sean Pendergast. He is with 610 Sports Radio in Houston. Sean, how you doing, my man? Happy to have you on the show again today.
Hey, Carrington, I always love talking to you. How is this for you? That's what I want to know. This has got to be super weird for you.
I feel like that's going to be the theme of this. We had a Patriots person on, and he asked the exact same question. So this is where I am. I obviously would like for the Chiefs to be in the playoffs. Man, they've been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. January has been by far and away my busiest month. So there is a small part of me that's like, you know what? It's Friday. It's not as stressful as it used to be. There is a small part of me that is enjoying this 1-year vacation from how chaotic the postseason has been.
Just be careful how much you enjoy it because you don't want it to turn into a multi-year vacation. That's all. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, trust me. I mean, as we've been having this week go on, I've noticed that we've been talking a lot about who the next offensive coordinator could be for the Chiefs. And I have found myself thinking, man, it was way cooler when we were breaking down games and who they were going to play.
Dude, I'm telling you, my biggest fear right now is that you guys wind up with Jeremiah Love. It keeps me up at night, man. I'm telling you.
So there's a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about. Let's start with this. I think Ron, the show Hughley, retweeted this. So I got a lot of Houston people that were retweeting me on Monday and commenting on it. We were just talking about it before you popped on. I wouldn't pay C.J. Stroud right now if I'm the Houston Texans. I know what the league tells you need to do, but we're talking about a quarterback who has been worse in each of his 3 seasons, and his best year was when he was a rookie. They did not win that game on Monday night because C.J. Stroud was their quarterback. They won it because they have the best defense in the National Football League, and we'll talk more about the defense. I'm not saying I would trade C.J. Stroud or anything like that, but you have him under contract for the next 2 years, and you have the ability to do the franchise tag. There doesn't appear to be a rush to me to give C.J. Stroud 5 years, $250 million. He hasn't played like one of those kind of quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's a few things. One, I don't think he's gotten steadily worse each of the 3 years. I think his best year was his rookie year, but I think this year he's been better than he was last year, especially the second half of last year. So I think he started to acclimate himself to the offense. Look, Monday was a disaster. There's no arguing that at all. And I agree with your overall premise, which is practicality says you need to ignore you just got to give a guy $50 million a year because that's what teams do. We see that not working with a lot of these contracts. Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence looks like he's figured some things out, but who knows? I mean, the whole league has a full off season to figure that out too. We said that about Trevor Lawrence before. So I'm with you on that. He hasn't earned it. The big variable in the whole thing is his agent is David Mulugheta, who's very good at making life miserable for NFL teams. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. The Texans actually have 2 huge contractual, I would say, items in the offseason. The other one is a much easier decision, and that'll be extending Will Anderson Jr., and I think that'll happen quick.
I got kind of laughed at when I said this, but I would have voted for Will Anderson to be Defensive Player of the Year, and this is my argument. Myles Garrett is Kevin Love on the Minnesota Timberwolves. He put up really good numbers on a team that didn't go anywhere. But if you were asking me what defensive player had the greatest impact on a defense that is carrying a team, I think the answer is Will Anderson. He has been a phenomenal player. So it is interesting you say decision. I think you and I are on the same page. There is no decision. At the end of this offseason, I am making Will Anderson the highest paid defensive player in the league.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think it'll come down pretty quickly like Derek Stingley Jr.'s contract did last year that made him the highest paid cornerback in football. That happened about a week into the league year in March. I don't think it's going to take long. Will Anderson Jr. loves Houston. Houston loves him. He embodies literally every single thing you want from a player that you're investing that much money in. On, off the field, in the locker room, in the community, he is as close to perfection as you can get.
Right now, we're talking to Sean Pendergast. He is based out of Houston covering the Texans. They go on the road to play the New England Patriots. That game is on Sunday at 2 o'clock Central. So let's talk a little bit more about this defense. I think this is the best defense in the league we've seen since the 2015 Broncos. I think we're talking about a Legion of Boom level of defense. Now, they got to accomplish what those defenses accomplish and helping their teams win a championship. But I'm looking at a defense right now that can do absolutely everything and is a terror to go up against.
Yeah, you're spot on. And I was just on a show a couple hours ago in Ireland, actually, talking about this game. And that's the same stretch of chronology that I brought up with this defense too. I said the 2015 Broncos, best defense since the 2015 Broncos. Obviously not as decorated as them or the Legion of Boom yet, but I think that degree of talent, and I like honestly, I think the trademark of this team, maybe even more than both of those teams, is just the violence that they play with. This is a bunch of killers. They're awesome guys off the field. That's the wild thing. You couldn't meet a bunch of nicer guys, but on the field, they are absolute killers. I mean, they are out for blood. And they're really, I was asked what like the weaknesses for the defense are. And it's funny, you have to get so nitpicky to find something that they're merely not good at. Not bad. There's nothing they're bad at. There's a few little things that they're not great. Like they're not great in the red zone. The solution is just don't let anybody in the red zone. They're not. They give up. They give up big chunk plays from time to time. They've had issues at times tackling, but they've been much better tackling this year. They have Pro Bowl level players at every level, and they're overloaded with Pro Bowl players in the secondary and on the defensive line. It's been. I mean, if you're a Texan fan, it's been an absolute joy to watch.
What does no Nico Collins mean for this offense on Sunday?
I would say it's obviously detrimental. Nico's one of the 6 or 7 best receivers in football. He makes big plays at big times in big games. Like he is a clutch wide receiver. So it's not great. I can tell you if it had happened in either of the last 2 postseasons, and you guys know this because you played the Texans in the game that eliminated them last year. I mean, if they had no Nico Collins last year, they wouldn't have scored any points. Nico Collins is he was the only guy who could get open for them once the postseason rolled around because they lost Diggs and they lost Tank Dell. This year, they've actually found some solutions offensively outside of Nico. The 2 rookies that they drafted out of Iowa State, Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll, have been contributors, especially Higgins, in the red zone. He scored 6 or 7 touchdowns this year. He had 500 or 600 yards receiving. Xavier Hutchinson, another Iowa State guy. We collect Iowa State guys, Carrington. That's what we do. A lot of places go to Alabama and Georgia to get their receivers. We go to Iowa State, baby. That's where we go. But Xavier Hutchinson in his 3rd year has turned into something. Christian Kirk had a huge game on Monday, which he'd not done all year. He had 239 yards receiving all year. He had a $144 on Monday against the Steelers. So obviously he's going to need to have another big game. And Dalton Schultz has had a pretty good season. I rattle off these names to say they've got guys they can throw the ball to. They've played without Nico Collins twice this year. Once when he had his first concussion back in Week 8 against San Francisco, and then in Week 18 they rested him against the Colts. They're 2-0 in both of those games. The Niner game is the more significant one because that's obviously when everybody's still trying. And that was C.J. Stroud's best game of the season. He was 30 of 38 for over 300 yards. So they've got experience playing without Nico. More importantly, they've got experience succeeding without Nico. It's not ideal, but I think for what they need in this game, which I don't think they're going to need 30 points or anything, I think they can get the job done.
I'll get you out of here with this, Sean. I'm picking the Patriots for this reason. I trust their quarterback more than I trust you guys' quarterback. And I think it really comes down to, can you eliminate a big mistake against Houston's defense? That game against the Steelers was close. Aaron Rodgers and their offense couldn't eliminate the mistakes. And next thing you know, you look up. And, I mean, I thought that game was over when it was 16-6. Pittsburgh was not putting together 2 drives to score on that Texans defense. That's where I'm at, but you could obviously sell me on Houston winning this game. Where are you at heading into this? How do you handicap this thing?
Well, I've got the Texans winning. I got them winning in a low-scoring game, 17-13. This is what I think you and I have not mentioned yet. The New England Patriots have played a dog crap schedule all year long. They have the level of defenses Drake May has gone up against is I don't want to say embarrassingly bad because it's not his fault that they're bad, but it is they have the worst strength of schedule in the league this year by a mile. And Drake May has put up really good numbers this year. The few times he's played against good defenses, the numbers haven't been all that great, and that's where a lot of his turnovers have come in. And I would say that the Chargers are a damn good defense. Last week was not pretty for Drake May. I know they won. They won 16-3. They scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter. He put the ball on the ground a couple times when the pocket got chaotic, and I can promise him the pocket will get chaotic this weekend as well. Threw a pick in that game. I don't think he was great in that game. I think they're going to get the worst version of Drake May in this game against this defense. I don't see anybody putting up numbers against this defense, and I just think this is going to be a big step up in weight class for Drake May, I feel like, and their running game. I know their running game's been real good lately too. Texans stifle running games.
I will say this, Sean, I'll get you out of here, man. I'm just happy that I don't have a dog in this fight. So if New England loses this game, I'm not going to feel bad by anyways. And there's a big part of me that's going to be happy. And I say this with no shade. Covering a team that is one game away from the Super Bowl is different, man. So if they win this game, you're going to have a really fun week, as Houston certainly has a chance to go to and potentially win a Super Bowl with that defense. That's Sean Pendergast joining us on the show based out of Houston. Sean, we appreciate you, my man.
Carrington, no shade taken at all, man. I hope we get that opportunity. I've been super jealous of you guys for the last 6 years, so I'm hoping we get that chance. I really appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. That's Sean Pendergast joining us on the show. Always great to catch up with him. Why don't we go back a little bit and let's talk a little bit of Kansas basketball. They play Baylor coming up later today in a rare Friday Big 12 game. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
This afternoon, expect rain and snow showers with a high of 40.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars Rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus if physically present in Missouri. Open to new users only. Minimum odds, -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-8877. 800-885-8877. Again, that's 800-885-8877.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, Royals fans, it's Vern. I'll be broadcasting live from Royals Rally on Saturday, January 31st, starting at 9 a.m. as I sit down with the biggest names in the organization before they head off to spring training. This is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM. HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey Sports Station.
I didn't plan on talking about this, but we're here, and I am a little bit intrigued by it. As someone from the outside, it is very intriguing to me, the relationship between Kansas fans and Darren Peterson. And partly I am looking at this because the Darren Peterson conversation and Darren Peterson feeling would be drastically different if he went to Missouri. It'd be drastically different if he went to K-State. But Kansas is a very unique place. Now, maybe I'm speaking out of turn. And Rob, I'm happy that you're here for this conversation. I don't think that Kansas has really ever embraced the one and dones. You guys love the guys that stick around for 3 and 4 years, that you get to grow and they feel like they're part of your family. But the guys who are sort of missionaries or hired guns, and you all know that this is basically a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You're here for 8 months. We're going to try to win as many games as we can while you're here. You're going to go on to the NBA, and then we'll all move on with our life. You guys just talk about them and treat them very differently than the kids that kind of stay around. And what I think has been kind of interesting in this Darren Peterson conversation is I think Peterson cares in a way that Andrew Wiggins didn't care. Now, very different injury, but I think Darren Peterson has been trying to play. I know there's been conversations about his family and NIL and who's kind of pulling the strings. Darren Peterson does not need Kansas to be the number 1 overall pick. If Darren Peterson just said, hey, I'm hurt, I'm shutting it down for the rest of the year, that would not have any effect on his draft status, and he will go on to make an insane amount of money playing basketball. Now, I also think it's hard to believe that you can be 19, 20 years old, grow up in the social media area, and not know how the masses seem to feel about you. But I think this is very important to note, and why at least I talk about him is, I think all of the trouble is worth it. What made me want to talk about this is we got 2 texts. Someone just texted in, C-Dot, Peterson is mid at best. I've watched so many Kansas games, and you guys are just bowing to this mid-talent, non-team player kid is ridiculous. Are we that numb to what's happening that we can't identify what we're seeing with Darren Peterson? Darren Peterson is 20 years old. Darren Peterson is shooting 47% from the field and shooting 40% from 3 in the Big 12 and averaging 22, 5, and 5 as a true freshman. Now, I understand it has not gone the way that KU fans wanted it to go, but I would say ultimately, isn't it kind of turning around? I know the non-con was very, very disjointed with Darren Peterson, but he's playing in these games, these conference games that I feel like when I was here in November, the argument was, well, these games don't really count as long as he's here when we get to Big 12 play. Well, now he's here in Big 12 play, and he's playing in these games, and he's playing substantial minutes in these games. He played 25 minutes against UCF, played 32 minutes against TCU, played 31 minutes against West Virginia, and played 27 minutes against Iowa State. And I think we would agree he could have played more in that game. They just was delivering the belt, so there was no reason to have Darren Peterson play. I feel like KU fans got exactly what they wanted in November. Maybe this isn't how you envisioned it in August when we were talking about it, but Darren Peterson being one of the best freshmen in the country and playing 30 minutes a game at Kansas is exactly what he's turned out to be for you guys.
I think there's two things at play here. First, I want to address he's somehow mid at best. That is just comically inaccurate. I think Lorenzo Cain suffered from this. I remember Carlos Beltran suffered from this. Darren Peterson does not look like he's moving at full speed. He looks like he's moving slower than everyone else, but that's because he's better than everyone else. Like there's like the kids call it aura, but he makes it look so easy to score that I don't think people, have these eye-popping wow moments and they jump to mid.
That kid can play.
That kid is a pro scorer today.
That kid can
score
play
20 a night in the league tomorrow.
And I'm sorry,
problem.
I used the word missionary when I meant mercenary. That's my fault. My bad. That happens sometimes. My bad, y'all. I messed up there. KU does not hate missionaries. They hate mercenaries. My apologies.
I do think that point is valid,
though. I want to say this, and I think you will be surprised that even I think this. I think Darren Peterson is the best college scorer we've seen since Kevin Durant.
Yes.
I think if we were just talking ability to score the basketball, he is the best college basketball scorer we have seen since Darren Peterson. It is easy and effortless. If you need one college basketball player to go get you a bucket, it doesn't matter if you need a 2, it doesn't matter if you need a 3. If you need one player to go get you a bucket, Darren Peterson is that player. Kansas does not win the TCU game, in my opinion, without him. They do not win the game. As much as you guys love Melvin Council is not making all 3 of those free throws at the end of the game, in my mind. He's missing at least one of them. Trey White is not missing those free throws. Now, yes, it was a little weird, disjointed effort, but now I feel like because he couldn't finish the game, we're now forgetting that Darren Peterson in the game, he shot 45% from the field. He was 13 of 15 from the free throw line and scored 32 points in a game. Like, Darren Peterson was phenomenal in the TCU game. I just feel like I heard in November, the reason he's not playing in these games is they're not important and we want to have him for conference play. You now have him for conference play. He is delivering on what it is, and now people just don't seem happy with what he is.
I feel like, like I said, there's 2 things to play here. First off, he makes it look so easy. I think the person who texted in that he's mid at best is comically wrong, but I think it's because he just makes it doesn't look difficult for him to score. I remember, and this is not the best barometer in the world, but Carrington, you'll understand my point. We were both at the TCU game. I went with my wife. And toward the end of the game, she was like, hey, that player you love, is he even playing that good? I'm like, he's got 25. Like, yeah, he's playing great. He's just, it doesn't like ooh and ah. Now, for your mercenary point, or missionary, whatever, it doesn't matter, either or. I think KU fans have always hated the mercenary because they've never done high-level winning with that player. Think about the biggest one-and-done names that have come to Kansas. They have disappointed in the tournament. Joel Embiid was hurt. Their team also eliminated in the second round. Andrew Wiggins on that team, eliminated second round. Kelly Oubre was a one-and-done, eliminated second round. Xavier Henry, you're catching a theme here, eliminated second round. If you want to count Cliff Alexander, second round. Like, they have not had the high-level, wow, one-and-done guy and done a lot of winning with him, so I think it has soured KU fans. Now, we don't know how this year's going to play out, but if Darren Peterson carries this team to a Sweet 16 Elite 8, I think you will feel a pivot toward the one-and-done among KU fans, because now it's not they show up, they lose the tournament, they go their separate ways. I think it might change. Like, Kentucky views them different because there's more winning at Kentucky.
I think all of that is fair. What I would say, and maybe KU fans will not listen to this, if Kansas does not meet expectation, it will not be because Darren Peterson is not good enough. It will be because Bill Self didn't do a good enough job putting a team around him. KU fans, your second best player is Melvin Council, who will not be on an NBA roster. When KU's been at their best, they normally got 3 or 4 NBA guys. Christian Brown was not the only NBA guy. Ochai is going to play 8 to 10 years in the league. Jalen Wilson's going to play 8 to 10 years in the league. You had 3 NBA guys the last time that you had a deep run, one of those kind of teams. This KU team has 1 NBA guy on their team. And you might be thinking, I don't care about that. Why does that matter? But if we go through every KU basketball team that you really thought had a chance, they had at least 2 guys that were going to play 8 years in the league. You need high-end talent to win at the level that KU's been winning at. Not just good college players. They've had some just good, strictly college players. You need pros and guys that are going to be pros. So I know it's easy to just, it's Darren, he hasn't lived up to the hype. There has not been a great KU team where a player like Melvin Council for KU used to come off the bench. That was your seventh man energy guy. You rallied around him. You now need him to score 15 to 20 points a night to be good. So if they don't reach the expectations, if they can't win the league, if they can't make a deep run in the tournament, it won't be because you missed on the number 1 overall pick and because you missed on the best player out of high school. It will be because the goal this season was have a very special freshman and get the right parts and pieces around them, and they were unable to do that in the transfer portal.
I agree with that. I also think there's a chance, I don't think it's tomorrow, but there's a chance Flory's a pro in the league. I mean, he's got a 6'10" with a wingspan. I think there's a chance.
Okay. But I mean like he's down the line, for sure, down the line.
He's an eighth man, he's an eighth man bouncy pogo stick bench player in the league. He's not, wow, that guy's in the league. I think if you're KU and you're looking at this team, you're right. KU teams usually have multiple pros. I think most teams that win national championships in college have multiple pros. Like, we can go through, even that Virginia team that won a national title had Kyle Guy, who was in the NBA for a while. They also had DeAndre Hunter, who was in the, like, you have to have pros to win the tournament.
You got to have at least 2 guys that are gonna really stick around in the league.
I think KU's hope with this team is the singular talent of Darren Peterson is greater than any NBA talent they've ever had in Lawrence, at least under Bill Self, and that you maybe have an NBA role player in Flory, and that's your 2. That no one who has touched a basketball in Lawrence under Bill Self, because I don't want to have people text in, well, Will Chamberlain. Under Bill Self, no one who has touched a basketball in Lawrence will be a better pro than Darren Peterson. None of them. And the hope is his greatness will elevate everyone up. And yes, you have 2 pros, but you have 1 superstar pro and then the next guy. Because like last year's Duke team that I know lost in the Final Four, Knoppel's an NBA guy, but he's not a star. And then they have Cooper Flagg, who's a freak. Like that's what KU's hope is their roster looks like as they push toward March. But tonight's important. I think next week, even though it's 2 lesser Big 12 opponents, its road games are important. Because if you go 3-0 in your next 3, and you're looking at a bye week ahead of BYU, you can easily start to tell KU fans it's a Final Four quality team again because Darren Peterson's playing and putting 25 up a night.
Coming up on the other side, we'll get back to getting you ready for this weekend in the NFL as we are at the divisional round of the playoffs. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. With every game day during the divisional round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you right there in the app. More boosts mean more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in. Take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moments. You guys know I'm taking the Patriots all the way to the big game. And you know what? I was impressed with San Francisco this weekend. All you need to do is apply your profit boost and go even bigger with payouts that keep the playoffs rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/local. Grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Expise KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
At Metal by the Foot, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality metal to meet your exact needs. Located in KC and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like Dark Mode 2. Log into BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
When winter's chill hits, trust Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. For a limited time, get up to $2,000 in instant savings on a new HVAC system from Hamilton. Our pros offer expert installation, flexible financing, and energy-efficient options that can help lower your energy bills. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. But don't wait. This is a limited time offer. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
At Shawnee Mission Ford, you get it all. Pricing on a great selection of new Fords, plus a lifetime powertrain warranty, along with the 1-year Select Plus protection. From America, for America. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We've got a 2-car crash if you're coming in from Blue Springs. That'll slow you down. 70 westbound just past 470. It is the left lane blocked. Downtown, that stall still blocking part of the right lane. 70 westbound at Broadway. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Let's go to the phone lines right now to be joined by Joshua Dover. He is with Denver Sports 104.3. The Broncos are still in the playoffs. The Chiefs are not. All right, Josh, go ahead and get your gloating out of the way. I'm expecting us to have a professional interview. Go ahead and get your gloating out of the way.
All right, I appreciate the time. I am going to make a small request for your producer, Rob. If you could just text me the audio of Carrington saying the Broncos are in the playoffs and the Chiefs are not, so that every time my phone dings for a text message, I can hear that for the summer. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say, my one request.
Okay, I will make sure that Rob gets you that audio. We are in the business of making people happy. So I wanted to have you on and talk about the Broncos and just kind of get the feeling heading into it. The season didn't end maybe as strong as Broncos fans would have wanted. They didn't play well on the road against Kansas City on the Christmas Day. They didn't play that well in the game against the Chargers to end the regular season. How are you guys feeling heading into the postseason after a week off?
I mean, look, we're fired up today. I just got off the air on my show here, and I said, this is 10 years in the making, man. And you guys, it's been a while since you had those feelings, but this city is buzzing, man. It's the number one seed. It's in our barn. They're have an opportunity to have the road to the Super Bowl stay right here in the Mile High City. But you're right about how it looked the last 2 weeks. In fact, and it was something I was telling my audience here and actually argued with my co-host about it. I wanted style points. I wanted it against Kansas City, and I wanted it against the backup team that was the Los Angeles Chargers because that builds confidence, right? Haven't we all been on varsity and played the JV team before the big game that week, so you build a little bit of confidence in your jump shot or whatever it is you were doing, and you didn't get any of that. Now they don't play for a full week, and out of sight, out of mind is a benefit here in the Mile High City right now. But there's a lot of questions going into this with the offense. Are they actually going to commit to running the football? That's the Bills' Achilles, and Sean Payton doesn't seem to want to do that. He writes run it on his play sheet every week, and then guess what he doesn't do? Run it. So there's some questions going into this about that offense. The way they limped in didn't give anybody a big confidence boost for this matchup.
So I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. The line has flipped over the last few days or so. This game started with Buffalo as a 1.5 point favorite, and now Denver is a 1.5 point favorite. Do you think the Broncos should be the favorite heading into this game?
I do, and I think it's actually right. I mean, 1.5 is as close to a pick 'em as you're going to get, so you just get kind of the home field advantage. And with what this Broncos defense is, I think that's the right line. And you look at what the Bills, who the hell is Josh Allen going to throw the football to right now? I know he can run it, and he's got right now the best running back and running game going behind him. But I think that's the reason of it. This home field thing is the real deal. I think these fans are going to be going nuts because of what I said to start this. They've been wanting this for a decade. They've been chasing this for a decade, and now it's right in front of them. I think it's more of that, the home field and the defense, more than, oh, well, Sean's going to run the football or Bo has figured this out, because I still think there's fair questions on both of those guys on the offense.
Right now, we're talking to Josh Dover with Denver Sports from 104.3 out in Denver, taking a closer look at Bills and Broncos. This is the playoff game that I'm most interested to heading into this weekend. So let's talk about Josh Allen. You know, the Bills have the quarterback advantage in this matchup, and usually the team with the better quarterback advances in this thing. I do think the Broncos are a better team. I think they've proven that over the regular season, but you are going up against the reigning NFL MVP on the other side. Are you worried about Josh Allen? Are you worried about the Bills' offense heading into this matchup?
I mean, it'd be a fool for me to say I'm not worried about the offense or Josh Allen. The offense, because of what they can do running with James Cook, and Josh Allen, if they have to ask him to be Superman. Fortunately, he can do that. But like I said, with the playmakers on the outside, now his tight ends are a problem, and that's a weak link for these Denver Broncos, is covering tight ends specifically at that second level there. So, yeah, it can come back and bite them. But I also look at this of, it's going to be a drag-it-out game. Like I said, if Sean wants to run the ball, it becomes, hey, which coach is going to commit to running the football and win this time of possession game? Yeah, we should all be afraid of who Josh Allen is and what he can be. But, man, I'm going to roll with history for this weekend, C-Dot. And what history tells me is that it's just the Broncos' turn to be the one that knocks Josh Allen and the Bills out of the playoffs earlier than they're supposed to go. So I think the Bills are the little engine that can't. You're right that Josh Allen's better than Bo Nix, but you know what? When you go head coach quarterback combo, and you know, when you have the best of that duo, you're going to win a lot of games. They don't have the best quarterback. Josh is better, as you just said, but Sean McDermott can't hold a candle to what Sean Payton is as a head coach. So, I mean, I'm in Buffalo. I'm looking at this game as, hey, this is a crap or get off the pot for Sean McDermott. If they can't get past these Broncos right now, you might be looking for a new head coach.
Are you worried about anything else when it comes to Buffalo? Because I feel, and not just here, I'm sure you guys have had it, and nationally, it feels like the argument is, well, they got Josh Allen. Well, what else do you think they can do? Can they run the football effectively? Can they do this thing? Can they get stops on defense? When you look at this Bills team, is there anything else heading into this game other than Cook and Allen running the football that has you worried heading into this game?
Not in a major way, right? Like maybe on a 1 to 10 scale, I'll give Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid like a 3 or a 4, but that's not really as I'm worried because of who they are. I'm worried because of who the Broncos middle and or inside linebacker groups are not, and have a hard time covering those guys. So doesn't really scare me. Like, there's nobody on the outside. This Broncos secondary is really good. The Bills got some big dudes up front, but the Broncos also have 68 sacks, so I give an advantage to Nick Benito, Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen on our side of things to go get it done. So I'll go like a, like I said, 3 or 4 scale, maybe with those tight ends. It's like a 7 or an 8 scale with James Cook, and then like a 10 of Josh Allen, because we know what he can do. But outside of that, I mean, their defense is good at stopping the pass because nobody really has to pass on them because you can run all over them for 60 straight minutes.
Right now, we're talking to Josh Dover here for a couple of more minutes. Let's talk a little bit more about Bo Nix. He has minimal playoff experience so far, but he has been there before. What's your confidence level? What's your trust in Bo Nix? Because I think you and I would agree, the Broncos seem to have almost everything else you would need to make a run. They've got a good coach. They got a good defense. They're at home. Like, they have a lot of those things. The question really comes down to, how much do you trust their quarterback? Do you think he can win these next 2 games? How are you feeling about Bo Nix?
Look, I've been a big Bo dude since the night they called his name of the draft, and had a lot of hope for the dude. And really, Raiders game, off the top of my head, I think it was November 6th, something like that. Then they had the mini bye because it came on Thursday Night Football. Up to that point, he had these happy feet, and he was like legitimately scared to take a hit. Not a sack, just take a hit. And it led to these happy feet and him scrambling instead of climbing in the pocket. After that Thursday night game, he had the mini bye, and then it was after the Chiefs game, he had a full bye. And he got better at that. But what he's done the last couple of weeks is sort of reverted back to that dude that's almost, I hate saying scared, but that's what it feels like, is scared to take a hit. If he's not willing to step up into the pocket and deliver a ball in the face of pressure, knowing that you're going to take a lick and know that the juice is worth the squeeze because you're going to move the chains or score a touchdown or have a big explosive play, but you're still going to have to get helped up off the ground, that part worries me a little bit. It's strange to think a football player doesn't want to get hit. But that's what I've seen out of Bo Nix. And if he has that going through his head, he's going to make more mistakes than he is going to make conversions and touchdowns. So that part definitely worries me.
Last thing here, Josh. I was at the Christmas Day game between the Chiefs and the Broncos. You know, I usually wouldn't go to a preseason game, especially not one in December. But you know what? It was Christmas Day. I got good tickets, and I wanted to see the Broncos up close and personal. I left that place not impressed at all. And I left at that moment saying that's not a team that can go to the Super Bowl. I'm picking Buffalo to win this game. I think it's going to be close. I think it's a 27-24 kind of game. What I saw them do against the Chiefs' third string, I can't in good faith pick them to advance in the postseason. Tell me why I'm wrong, because I know you're picking the Broncos. Tell me why you think the Broncos are winning on Saturday.
Well, and you see why I wanted style points, so I could tell my dude C-Dot, but look, they didn't lip into the playoffs, but that's fair, man. I see this game going 24-20. The Denver Broncos get a win. I do think it's going to be drag it out. I think, and I hate to hope, but I'm hoping that Sean Payton will realize he has to run the football game, and I think this is just a close game, fourth quarter. Let's see who can make a play. And what I think happens, actually, is it's in this fourth quarter. It's when Bo and the Broncos offense play their best ball. They go down and score to take a lead. So it's 2017. Bo leads a touchdown drive. They take the lead 24-20. Josh has the ball. It's, crunch time, game on the line, and it comes down to a big stop on the Broncos' defensive side that wins the game. If I had to flip that around, I actually might be rolling with you. If Bo and the Broncos offense had to go win the game rather than just take a lead late, I'd be real nervous about that. But I trust in this defense more than I trust in anything in this football world, Carrington, and I believe that they will do the heavy lifting, and the Broncos win 24-20.
That is Josh Dover joining us on the show. He's with Denver Sports 104.3 out in Denver, Colorado. Josh, hopefully we have you on next week because that means the Broncos advance, man. Always great catching up with you, my man.
Always love jumping on, man. If you need any conversations about how to do draft talk radio while the playoffs are going on, let me know.
Okay, all right. See, that's what I mean, Josh. This is what I didn't want. This is what I wanted to avoid. That's what I wanted to avoid. That shot on the way out. We didn't need that. I came in peace. We didn't need that. There was no reason to throw that in there. That was to kick you while you were down. I know it's been a rough 4 or 5 weeks for you guys. It was tanking conversations, and now it's who should we pick with the 9th overall pick. We didn't need Denver coming in here with that energy. We didn't need that. Unacceptable. That's a flagrant foul. We might have to call a different Broncos person next week. Where's Ryan Edwards at? We might have to get somebody else. Dover can't be their representative. Rob, let's say that you were walking around the plaza. Let's say you're walking around Oak Park Mall on Saturday at noon, 1 o'clock. And you go around and all the people who have Chiefs stuff on, you go up and you ask them, hey, who do you want to win? Not who you think is going to win, but who do you want to win? Would you rather the Broncos win or would you rather have the Bills win the game? What do you think the consensus would be? Where do you think Chiefs Kingdom, where do you think Chiefs fans are leaning for Saturday's game? I'm thrilled that's how we're kicking the playoffs off this weekend. Bills, Broncos, coin flip kind of game. You got the best team in the AFC against the best quarterback in the AFC. Somebody going home unhappy. Sign me up for it. Who do you think Chiefs fans want to win? 913-586-7965.
I think for this week, I think you said it perfectly. I think Chiefs fans want the Bills to win this week, but I think the Chiefs fans have no interest in the Bills going beyond to next week. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it exists. I don't understand it. But Chiefs fans are really irritated at the notion that Josh Allen could go to or win a Super Bowl, and that really sticks in their craw. So I think they want the Bills to eventually lose. I just don't think they want them to lose this week because the idea of Denver facing down a Super Bowl is more problematic than Josh Allen doing it. But you said there's a consensus. I do not believe it is, 80-20 vote if I watch on the plaza. I think it's like 65-35, 60-40. Everyone's saying, yeah, give me Buffalo this week. But there is a level of intrepidation from Chiefs fans because of Josh Allen now being back in an AFC title game if he were to win.
Yeah, I'm getting the sense, I'm looking at the text line right now. The text line is very overwhelming. We want Buffalo to win. I'm getting text people saying that they want Buffalo to win. I'm a little bit surprised for this reason. I'm a little surprised because now I know that Buffalo hasn't done the talking the way that, Cincinnati did, but are Chiefs fans prepared for an entire offseason? Like, all of the love that has been showered on Patrick Mahomes over the next 5 years, let Buffalo go to and win the Super Bowl. They will not be talking about Patrick Mahomes anymore. The talking is going to be that Josh Allen is now the king. And now you're going to have an entire offseason of arguing, well, he has one, we have three. Like, that's going to be the entire – is that what you want? I think the best case scenario for Chiefs fans is Josh Allen wins this one. You get the Broncos out of here. Josh Allen fails miserably in the AFC Championship game, and everything then stays the same. You can then point and say, ha, 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 you guys still didn't go to another Super Bowl. We weren't in the playoffs. Because ultimately, for all of this, we want to see the Bills win. If the Bills didn't go, Chiefs fans, in my opinion, are going to try to put an asterisk by it. I mean, you guys didn't beat us. So I'm a little bit surprised right now to see at least early sentiment on the text line is we want Buffalo to win. You mean the same team that changes the rules every time that you beat them? I'm a little surprised that this is happening right now.
I'm actually surprised by the amount of people who get upset by the idea that Josh Allen will be talked about as the king of the NFL for what would be the 26th season if he does that. I don't understand Chiefs fans' hate toward Josh Allen. I understand that he is Patrick Mahomes' rival. So I get that he is a problem for Patrick Mahomes becoming the greatest quarterback of all time. But it doesn't seem like a negative to me to have Josh Allen be, MVP, Super Bowl champion, couldn't ever beat Patrick Mahomes. That was what Peyton Manning was for Tom Brady forever. It was Super Bowl champion, multiple-time MVP, can't figure out Belichick, and now, historically, we look different at Peyton Manning because he couldn't overcome that demon consistently in the playoffs. Like, I'm surprised by fans who
I'm stunned at the text line right now. I'm really stunned at the text line. Someone on the text line says, I just feel bad for Buffalo fans, and this is Josh's only shot. It's okay. They can have this one. The king will be back next year. I'm surprised at this. I really am. You guys are pulling for Buffalo, your number one rival. You want to see them win? Maybe this isn't the rivalry that I thought it was. Maybe it's not, because I'm a little stunned. I'm genuinely stunned. I even feel like they're already starting to set up the Josh Allen's hurt storyline. I feel like they're already setting it up.
I actually think Seattle's setting that up with Sam Darnold.
Well, good. I want that.
He just popped up on the injury report with an oblique injury. Must have gotten it walking to the facility.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. Oh, man, he played poorly. Like, I'm sitting here on ESPN.com right now. I'm on the NFL page. Bills Josh Allen set to play despite multiple ailments. It's week 20 of the NFL season. Of course he's got multiple ailments. You think you've been playing football this whole time and you're healthy? Everybody's hurt. I already feel like they're setting it up for you. They're already setting up they were on the road and the other team just had the bye and Josh just didn't have enough help. And I feel like they're already setting it up. I thought there would be more of a angst against this team. That's what I thought, but it's just that's not the way you guys feel.
It's like a moving target, though, because people on the text line are like, no, let Josh Allen win this one. Other people on the text line are adamant that Denver needs to win because they don't want to see Josh Allen experience any glory. I do think it is the ultimate catch-22 game for Chiefs fans because someone's going to win. That's how these things work. And the conversation next week is going to be about whatever team that is and blank. Either A, there's a new king of the AFC and it's Denver, or B, there's a new king of the AFC and it's Josh Allen. That conversation is coming. We are just, 48, 72 hours removed from that being the conversation no matter what.
Do you think the text line would root for Lamar Jackson like this?
No. I don't think they would root against Lamar Jackson.
I'm just wondering. Because I'm saying is a lot of the sentiment on the text line is we like Josh Allen. Do you think the text line would root for Lamar Jackson in the same way? Because they are in the exact same boat. Like, I'm wondering if it was Ravens-Broncos this week, do you think the sentiment would be we want to see Lamar win one?
I don't think Lamar elicits the same emotional response that Josh Allen does for Chiefs fans. Whether pro, like, hey, we like Josh, want to see him win, or anti, like, we hate Josh. I think Lamar Jackson is not viewed in the same category as Josh Allen by Chiefs fans.
All right.
Because Josh Allen at least has battled to the very last moment. Lamar Jackson had, one playoff game against Kansas City? Like, it's just different in the postseason. I don't think Chiefs fans view Lamar that way.
Yeah, I've never seen a fan base, and this is just the text line. We're just having a little fun here. I've never seen – I feel like Chiefs fans feel bad for how they've beaten Buffalo. Like, the 13-second game, yes, it was a really good moment for you. Somebody had to be on the heartbreaking end of it, and it's like Chiefs fans have, trauma bonded. Hey, this used to happen to us all the time. I'm sorry now that this has to happen to you. It's like they have a trauma bond with Buffalo Bills fan. That honestly, reading it on the text line is actually an enjoyable experience. We'll talk about this more coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. The Dodgers are they start the Monopoly game with more money than everybody else. That's maybe the best way to put it. There's a set amount of money you're supposed to start the Monopoly game with. It's like the Dodgers have an infinite money glitch.
Bottom line is, what the Dodgers are doing isn't cheating. They're not breaking any rules. They're playing within the system that Major League Baseball has set up. They go out, they invest, and they improve, and they win.
Right.
Sounds like a good formula to me.
Here's what you can give here's what I'm giving my friends who are complaining, who are Orioles and Nats fans back east. It's a tissue. Cry into this. And you can come at us. It's great for baseball because it gives the rest of baseball something to shoot for and something to a team and a team to aspire to be and to beat. And that's why last year attendance records were set in Major League Baseball. Yeah. When the Dodgers come to town, everybody wants to see the Dodgers.
Especially
and they want to see their team beat the
Yes.
Dodgers. They won't beat them, but, it's something to aspire to. Go cry into this.
Dodgers had a target on their back this last season, but that target is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
We love it.
Hey, man, they talking crazy in L.A. That man told you to get your weight up, not your hate up. That's what he said. He said, get your money up, not your funny up. He said, we are the team that you're aspiring to be.
Did he say
He said the only reason you go to games is to come watch us. You don't want to go see your team play the Rangers, but you'll come when our team is in town. They talking big stuff out in L.A. Honestly, that's how Chiefs fans used to talk before they went 6-11. That's how I miss when you guys used to talk like this. I missed when every other team was trash. Nobody else had a good quarterback. Nobody else had a good coach or good general manager. I want you guys to get your swagger back. That's what I want. I miss when you guys used to be like that. In the time, it was annoying. But now I kind of miss it. Now you guys are rooting for Josh Allen and feel bad for people. That's how I know this season went poorly for the Chiefs. You guys ain't talking the way you used to talk. I miss it.
He said they're good for baseball?
That's what he said. He said, get your weight up, not your hate up.
Did he also?
He said, he said they hate us because they ain't us, is what they said over on the KCTV5 LA News is what they said.
Did he also say the reason attendance is up across all 30 teams is just the Dodgers? Yep, just the Dodgers. Attendance is up because Dodgers. End of discussion. Okay.
Yeah, Shohei. I mean, I made it a point to go see Shohei when he was here.
Yeah,
I mean, they're right. They got Shohei on their team. I'm not really there to see Mookie Betts. I'm here to tell you, I'm not really there to see some of the other guys they got. I'm there to see Shohei play.
Attendance was up across all of baseball. The Mariners had an attendance boom. It's not because Shohei was in town for 3 games. Like, that's quite the leap to take all the credit for the attendance bump.
Coming up on the other side, Rob, I want you to give me your one lock for the weekend from a gambling perspective in the NFL. And also, who is a player that you guarantee is going to find the end zone? We'll do that together. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, folks, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Many men remember their first time. Not that first time. I'm talking about the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined that special moment. And if you're over 50, then the chances are then you've experienced this before. That first time can be frustrating. It can be a little bit embarrassing. But here's the good news. At Heartland Men's Health, that first time can also be the last time. Heartland Men's Health specializes in treating ED when the pills and herbals fail. With a success rate of over 90%, many men see results just after one visit. So your first visit is just $99, which includes a consult, lab work, and if medically advised, you get a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. So don't let ED define your sex life. Call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today at 844-447-6600 or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. You can also stop by and visit any of the 3 area locations, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Be sure to stop by Heartland Men's Health.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325 on back-to-back weekends. The new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam! Let's go.
One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go.
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month, only on Paramount Plus.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Coming up on Sunday in the Pro Football Playoffs, New England, a 3-point home favorite against Houston, total in the game 40.5. The big injury news in this game, it does not look like Houston will have its number 1 wide receiver, which is bad news going up against a New England defense that just shut down LA last Sunday night. And while Houston's defense is awesome and wrecked Pittsburgh last Monday night, New England's quarterback playing at an MVP level, and I think this price is probably going to move. So if you can grab New England -3 coming up on Sunday against Houston, that's the bet I like in that game. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay, plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Revitalize your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select vanities and free delivery during our bath savings event. Plus, get up to 40% off select shower heads. No matter what style you're looking for, we've got you covered. Shop for your bathroom refresh at Lowe's. We help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Report brought to you by Miva Medical. Relief for knee pain, enlarged prostate, and uterine fibroids. MivaMedical.com.
Start the new year feeling comfortable. Men, if frequent bathroom trips are slowing you down, it could be an enlarged prostate. Jeff Montgomery here. I stopped putting it off and contacted Dr. Brown at Miva Medical. The non-surgical treatment was quick and covered by insurance. Contact Miva Medical, MIVA-medical.com.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law. Mike's got this. We've got a stall, big delays, 70 westbound. As you pass, 470 left lane is blocked. On the curve, Lee Summit, 470 northbound at Woods Chapel, right lane blocked there. 3 reasons why you should call DM Injury Law. 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results. Mike's got this. 816-888-7500. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to take a trip to Buffalo, New York to talk about the Bills as they are going on the road to take on the Denver Broncos. The week started with the Bills as the favorite. Fast forward to the end of the week, now the Broncos are the favorite heading into that matchup. So let's do this. I want to go through each of the 4 games. I'm going to give you my gambling lock for this. I'm also going to give you one player that I think is going to find the end zone. I have noticed in myself, I have turned into, I don't really play a lot of player props. Like, I'm not really taking James Cook over under for 74.5 yards. That's how you play. Sure, everybody finds bets that they feel comfortable with. I'm picking the winner, and I'm picking somebody to get in the end zone. I have to keep it simple that way. So, Rob, let's do it. All right, we have 4 games this weekend. The Broncos, they are 1.5-point favorites. Seattle, they are 7-point favorites. New England, 3-point favorites. And Chicago, they are a 3.5-point dog at home against the Los Angeles Rams. All right, Rob, right now, I give you a free $500 bonus bet, and I tell you, you got to pick one winner against the spread in the divisional round of the playoffs. Who are you laying the money on?
Ooh, I only get one?
You only get one pick. You stone cold lock.
Patriots -1.5. Or -3, excuse me. Patriots -3. That's the safest bet of the weekend. I would money line them if I were you, because I feel like
-180.
-180. But if you're forcing me to take the juice, I would take the Patriots -3. I just don't believe in CJ Stroud. I also like the under in this game because I don't think both defenses are going to play well. Like if you're looking for a bonus bet, but I think the Patriots can win. I think it's going to be an ugly affair. I just don't think CJ Stroud out Nico Collins is good enough to get the job done. I think we'll be talking. I wish we'd be talking about the Texans defense because it is so good and has a chance to be historic and yada yada yada. I just think the Patriots are going to do enough to win. I think it's going to be like 20-14. That covers the number. So Patriots -3 against the spread is my lock of the weekend.
All right, I am going to take the Los Angeles Rams going on the road to Chicago. They're 3.5-point favorites. I'd be interested in maybe buying the half point if you're going to give me a bonus bet. Like I can really take a free roll. The team that I feel most confident in winning this week is the Los Angeles Rams over the Chicago Bears. I just think they're a better team than they are. And I also think that Sean McVay, now given the time, I think he'll be able to exploit that Bears defense. And I think the Rams are going on the road and winning. So give me the Los Angeles Rams. Right now, they're 3.5-point favorites in their matchup on the road against Chicago. Go ahead and give me the Rams. Rob, in that same vein, I'll give you my touchdown bet that I like the most. Given the weather, given the elements, and the kind of game I think it could potentially be, give me Kyren Williams. Give me him +120 to find the end zone for the Los Angeles Rams. So I would even parlay this thing. Kyren Williams, and I would take a Los Angeles Rams on the money line if you're feeling frisky. That might be my play for the week. That's what I like. Who do you like to find the end zone?
Okay, now my touchdown bet's lame. I'm not even going to pretend like it's like some, deep cut.
That's
plus
fine.
360. Watch out for
As
this
long as
one.
it cashes, that's all that matters.
Josh Allen minus 110.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, that might actually be the safest bet all week. I mean, just because you know they're going to run the tush push in one of those kind of scenarios, I'm actually shocked they haven't put more juice on it, to be completely honest with you about it.
I'm actually that's the thing. Like, he's not even the biggest favorite to score in that game.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I don't think.
Which why RJ Harvey is crazy to me. RJ Harvey's the most likely player to score in Bills and Broncos?
That's a sucker bet, 100%. If you're betting RJ Harvey touchdowns,
yeah,
it's a
just
sucker
take
bet.
Josh Allen, yeah.
And I'm saying this as someone who quite literally got burned last week because I thought, James Cook in the end zone, safe money.
I actually hit my parlay last week. I had James Cook, Dallas Goedert, and Christian McCaffrey. So a little touchdown parlay last week. A little sprinkle.
I watched that Jags game. They tush pushed from like the 14-yard line.
Yeah, they wasn't playing around. They wasn't playing around.
So yeah, I think Josh Allen minus 110 is the safest play of the weekend. I don't understand why it's only minus 110, but if you want some money, that's the way to play if I were betting one touchdown.
All right, those are our picks for the weekend. Coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to head to Buffalo, New York. We're going to take a closer look at the Buffalo Bills as they're getting ready for their road game against the Denver Broncos. Here is Howie Roseman. I think he's the best general manager in all of the National Football League. With the Eagles, they've fallen on some tough times. They lost in the wild card round. Here he is talking about staying competitive while also building for the future.
Can I clarify one thing? Because I think it's important for our fans to understand. You can do whatever it takes to win now and still build for the future and still have those parallel paths. I just don't want it to get confused that we can't do whatever it takes to build a championship caliber team next year and also continue to have really good players on this team for the future. So, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page on that.
I think that's a really good point by Howie Roseman. I also think, that's really the challenge for the Chiefs this year. I know a lot of other teams kind of fall in that category. I think the Chiefs have to walk an interesting line heading into this offseason. I'm not punting on 2026, especially if you think Patrick Mahomes is going to be available in the first part of the season. It'd be one thing if we were talking about Mahomes was going to come back in November or December, then yeah, we're having a very different talk. But if Mahomes is telling you that he thinks he can be back for week 1 of things, and even if he misses week 1, he's back by week 3 of the NFL season, then you got to build a team that you think can be competitive for this upcoming season. I know it looks a little bit grim with the Chiefs. They're not that far off. They're not that far off this year. A really good offseason, a really good draft, especially, I'm guessing the AFC will be kind of like how it is now, where it's going to feel like it's anybody's race. It's going to feel like anybody's got a chance. So the Chiefs in no way should feel like they should punt on 2026 and get ready for 2027. No, make some smart moves in free agency, nail the draft and pick you up a couple of starters, make some of the right decisions when it comes to position coaches. The Chiefs could absolutely find themselves making another run in the postseason. I really don't believe they're that far away from it.
I agree. And I think the cut is noteworthy. But here's my question, my thought, where my brain goes. I don't want the Chiefs punting on 2026, but I don't want them loading up on players 2026 either. How many times has the text line or social media or someone, Carrington, told you about the Chiefs, hey, push your chips in the middle of the table. It's win now mode, win now. I think they had that last season, going for the three-peat. I think they had it the season before that, obviously going for the repeat. I think this season they got caught in the in-between. They had some players they brought in that were designed they're going to help us today, and they drafted some players with the idea of their long-term, 3-4 year players. This offseason, I don't want a 32-year-old who's like, hey, he's in win now mode. We're going to try to get a 1-year deal and get the most out of him. I don't think that is smart roster building. So maybe that's me being okay with another slight step back next year from Super Bowl greatness for the Chiefs, but I don't want 32-year-old ring hunter in Kansas City in the offseason. I don't want when a Joey Bosa type is in free agency. I don't want the Chiefs pursuing that guy.
I'm actually not against that at all, depending on what position that it's in. Because to me, pass rush is kind of one of those positions where I don't mind you going to get a headhunter. Like, I don't mind the Chiefs going out there and potentially overpaying for a guy who's 30 years old who can help you on the defensive front. Like, I don't mind that. I think you got to be realistic. The Chiefs only got 6 draft picks, so it's not like we're seeing like they had a few years ago where you got 13 picks. I think you got to look at 9 as impact. You got to look at 40 as impact. And I'm not sure off the top of my head where they pick in the 3rd round. I think you're kind of looking at those 3 picks as being guys that could potentially help you. You get Omar Norman Lott back next year, so you got him into the mix. But yeah, I'm looking at it. Man, to me, the Chiefs have been a little passive in free agency the last couple of years. The Chiefs punted on free agency last year. They punted on free agency. They got Jalen Moore, and that was all they were really interested in doing. They didn't really spend any money at wide receiver. They didn't spend any money at running back last year. They didn't really try to upgrade many positions. Man, I'm looking at the Chiefs in day one. You need to be looking out there, and you need to be looking for guys that are starters. Like, we've been using the term depth piece too much when it comes to describing the Chiefs. Juju's a depth piece. No, they need to be looking for starters in free agency. And if you overpay, that's just what free agency is. You overpay because you've missed in the draft. Well, yeah, you've missed. So far, you've missed on Xavier Worthy. So far, you've missed on George Karlaftis in some ways. You missed on Felix Anudike-Uzomah. So if you got to spend a little bit of money in free agency to actually solve the problem of pass rush, then so be it.
Here's where I know we're up against the clock. I'm not trying to defend Brett Veach here. I think the moves you're describing they made last offseason all failed. Charles Omenihu checks the box you're describing. He's a headhunting pass rusher who was coming off a healthy season, and the thought was 1-year deal, get the most out of him. He stunk. Offensively, you said they added no wide receivers. You're right, but they did technically sign 2. They signed Hollywood Brown before free agency ever started. He was supposed to be the 27-year-old, 28-year-old, takes the step forward. Hey, he was hurt last season. We're going to maximize Hollywood Brown. He was very mediocre. That's the kind of player that I kind of want to avoid. That 1 year, $5.5 to $10.5 million contract. Hey, we're going to try to get the most out of this player. They really want to win, so it works in Kansas City. No, don't do that, because when it fails, it blows up so hard, and we saw it blow up last offseason.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to head to Buffalo, New York to get you ready for, in my opinion, the best playoff game on paper. We got Bills and Broncos. That's all coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We've got a new problem in Shawnee, 635 southbound as you approach Shawnee Drive. Right lane is blocked. That's a stall. And then near Blue Springs, 470 northbound at Woods Chapel. Right lane blocked there on the curve. I'm bound with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. With every game day during the divisional round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you right there in the app. More boosts mean more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in. Take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moments. You guys know I'm taking the Patriots all the way to the big game. And you know what? I was impressed with San Francisco this weekend. All you need to do is apply your profit boost and go even bigger with payouts that keep the playoffs rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/local. Grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit book token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
Push returns to headline this spring with a killer lineup based on music from their critically acclaimed new album, I Beat Loneliness. The Land of Milk and Honey Tour with special guests Mammoth and James and the Cold Gun. In a show bound to rock as hard as it sounds. Friday, May 8th, Azura Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. Push, produced by Mammoth.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Listen up. It's 2026, and this is going to be your best year yet when it comes to sex. You know why? Because you're finally going to take the advice and try the chewable tablets from Blue Chew. Blue Chew's tablets help you feel and perform at your best, and their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient for your prescription. Be more confident where it counts. Blue Chew's a small chew for a big difference because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. You know, just like the athletes that we love to root on for every single day of the week, these athletes have to be able to show up when it matters during the game's most exciting moments. You need to show up during life's most exciting moments. Be ready when she is. It's not just about performance. Give your partner something to brag to their friends about, because nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use the promo code KFNZ at checkout. You just cover $5 for shipping. That's promo code KFNZ. Just cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Chiefs offseason show with Bob, Dusty, Cody, Alex, and CDOT is Tuesday, February 10th, starting at 9 a.m. right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Let's go to the phone line for our final guest of the day, Jeremy White, WGR in Buffalo. They have a big game this weekend going on the road to Denver. Jeremy, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, Carrington. You just missed me, huh? We had to talk one way or another.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this is basically the truth. Right now, the only thing happening in Kansas City is Kansas basketball, and we're waiting to see who their offensive coordinator is. We've talked about those things enough this week. I needed to do something different today.
I appreciate it. Are Chiefs fans feeling like rooting for Buffalo in this spot or anything? Or, I mean, we got any support?
So, funny enough, we actually did a topic right before you came on, and I asked, hey, who are you rooting for this week? Buffalo, a team that Chiefs fans obviously know very well, and Broncos, a team in the division. Overwhelming the sentiment is that Chiefs fans want to see the Bills get to the Super Bowl.
All right, good. Very good.
I was a little bit surprised by that. I was a little bit surprised by how many people kind of had the, hey, Buffalo's never done anything to us. Josh Allen seems like a nice guy. They've never won a Super Bowl. I was shocked there wasn't a little bit more angst from Chiefs fans.
Yeah. Well, we're nice people, and it would be great if we finally got one around here, you know?
For sure.
I kind of sometimes think I'd like to know what it's like after you win the first one and, you know, how much you care about the second one and the third one and still staying motivated and still wanting your team to win. You guys have experience with that, you know, winning one for the first time in forever and then, you know, trying to get back there. So I'm ready to try that life out.
So I will say this. Part of me was excited with the way that the Bills game ended. I wanted to see Josh Allen have to take his team down the field, and I wanted to see what was going to happen. Jacksonville was up 24-20, and there's less than 5 minutes in the game. I'm thinking, goody, this is what we've signed up for. Everybody keeps telling me that this is the best quarterback in the NFL. Well, I've seen Mahomes in this spot take his team down the field and score a touchdown. I'm holding Josh Allen to that same standard. 9 plays, 66 yards, 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Buffalo goes down the field to score that game. Josh Allen completed the first box of this checklist by going on the road and beating Jacksonville.
Yeah, now another road game, and another one after that. And there's another box to check here too, Carrington. That's Josh Allen got the lead, and the Bills defense held it, because there have been a couple times where Josh Allen's gotten the lead, and the Bills defense has not been able to hold it. So we had a big conversation around here when the Bills snuck it in on first down. Should they have kneeled on it once to try and kill 40 seconds and not give Trevor Lawrence a full minute, but get it to second and goal from the one? And the conversation, and the coaches here admitted that they did discuss it, but ultimately just, plowed in on first down. And then the defense did come up and do the all as well.
I will admit this. This is like me admitting different things to you. I hate the fact that Buffalo voted against the tush push, yet now runs the tush push more than any team in the league. They run it now more than Philadelphia did toward the end of the season. I just don't think you can cry and complain about how it's so much of a safety hazard the way that their coach did in the offseason, and now basically that's all Josh Allen scores on are 1-yard tush pushes.
Yeah, I'll agree on one part. When they started talking safety, I thought that was a bad selling point. Like, I don't really buy that it's about safety. I think it's about the aesthetic of the play. I'm one that's against it. I wish it was gone. I don't like it anymore. QB sneaks worked fine before they were pushed from behind, and that's all well and good. At the same time, though, the Bills, it's almost like the Bills tried to warn you. Like, please make this play illegal. Oh, you're not going to do that? All right, well, then we're going to use it on you with maybe the most powerful guy to do it, outside of Jalen Hurts. So I think Jacksonville was one of the teams that voted to keep it. And, maybe they regret that right about now. So, the Bills didn't run a lot during the season. I'll tell you that. So they might think that Allen is more prone to injury, or maybe, we're just in a bad spot during the regular season. But now, playoffs, whatever it takes, they'll run it.
Right now, we're talking to Jeremy White with WGR in Buffalo. Just talking a little Bills as they get ready for their game against the Broncos. Where is Josh Allen at from a health perspective? There's a headline right now that he's kind of dealing with some ailing injuries ahead of this matchup. We obviously expect him to play. He's going to play. But from a health perspective, is this just normal wear and tear as the season progresses and everybody is injured, or is it more serious with him?
He had a couple of injuries in that Jacksonville game. He slammed his ring finger on a helmet. He had a foot injury coming in. He wrenched his knee on one of those quarterback sneaks. He got his face landed on by Trayvon Walker. Like, he got beat up in this game, and we've seen a couple of games this year where he's been beat up. One thing we've learned about Josh Allen is he could be dragging around 2 broken legs, and you'd ask him, how is he? He'd say, I feel great. I feel great. He did that this week. He said, I feel better than I've felt in weeks. And is it true? I don't know. He is not ever one to cry injury, to say he's hurt, to say he's limited. Like, he's as tough as they come. People around here really respect that about him. So he's probably feeling something. It's just he's not going to let anybody know that he is under any circumstance. And I think he's the kind of guy, too, that when he goes into medical tents, like whatever, he's going to, follow the rules, but they want to do a scan on him after a game. He's going to tell them, I don't need to scan. I can walk. I'm fine. So tough customer, probably feeling a little bit. And that's something the Bills have to watch out for this week. And if they advance next week as well, because he takes hits. He's been taking more hits this year. And a lot of that is actually, Carrington, it's on him. He's not been as efficient taking the easy throws through the year. And that's kind of why he's gotten battered a little bit. But against Jacksonville, he did step in the right direction, and I'm sure he'll be wanting to do that against Denver as well.
Buffalo started the week as a favorite in the matchup against the Broncos. They are now the underdog. Now, it's slight. They're 1.5-point underdogs. Are you surprised at the way the line has flipped over the last 72 hours or so? Who do you think should be the favorite in this game?
I don't think I'm surprised. I mean, it's exactly what happened in Jacksonville. Like, the Bills were favored, and I guess you get talked into home field advantage and the health factor. I think people might buy in the health factor. I think the Bills should be favored in this game. I mean, is their resume not maybe a little bit better than Denver's? Maybe not. Denver's got some wins. They've got a lot of close wins, though. You know, a couple of years ago, the Minnesota Vikings had all these one-score game wins, and you know it's important to win those, but it might be an indication that you're kind of sneaking by. And I mean, I feel pretty confident about the Bills in this spot. I thought Jacksonville was their worst matchup of any team in the AFC in terms of balance on offense and defense. Like Jacksonville might be able to win the game in two different ways. And I don't really think anybody else is as balanced. So I think if they're still they started favored. If they're not, well, then I'll get them with the points because I think they should be the favorite.
Right now, we're talking to Jeremy White with WGR out in Buffalo covering the Bills. Where are you feeling with this defense? How confident are you in the defense? You mentioned it. They stepped up and made a big play against Trevor Lawrence in the first round, but you're going to have to do that 3 more times if you want to win a championship. I don't think you're necessarily worried about Denver's offense and their ability to exploit you, but it's a playoff game. One blown coverage, one mistake that can end your season. How confident are you about Buffalo's defense after watching them in the first round?
Reasonably confident. They lost Jordan Poyer at safety. He's out week to week with a hamstring injury. Poyer was the guy that came in for Taylor Rapp, who had a really terrible start to the season. And Poyer came in and, you know, we thought he might be shot. He was with Miami last year, and he really helped solidify the back end for them. And Cole Bishop kind of rounded into the player he's supposed to be. Tre'Davious White has been incredible in his return stint with the Bills. Christian Benford's very good. Like, they have been piecing together a pretty good pass defense despite a lot of injuries, a complete turnstile rotation on their defensive line, who's in, who's out. They've got practice squad elevations left and right. They're claiming Matthew Judon off waivers. They've got, it's been a nonstop in and out. And this week, Ed Oliver has been activated from injured reserve. So he might be able to go. He's been out for months with a torn biceps, so that would help as well. It's not perfect defense. There's no way. Like, they don't have the talent that Denver does. They don't have the talent that Houston does or Seattle. But Sean McDermott, he's winning with schemes. He's winning in the lab. He's confusing Trevor Lawrence with looks. And Bo Nix struggles against zone coverage, and the Bills love to play zone. So they'll disguise in the secondary, and they'll try to confuse him throughout the course of the day, and I think they'll have success doing it. So, you know, they have their faults, the defense does, but I think that from a coordinator standpoint and from a coach standpoint, just kind of building it all, it's been McDermott's best season. And there's a lot of love for McDermott this year because they've had success, and I don't think anybody would say from a roster standpoint that their defense has very many game wreckers really at all.
Let's say that Buffalo loses 27-24 in a heartbreaker. On Tuesday, what do you think happens with Sean McDermott?
I think McDermott is probably fine. I mean, if it's a egregious coaching error, then, you know, the people, the fans will come for him. But I just think that you kind of have to look at the Bills. They're not exactly like the Steelers here, but Mike Tomlin could have that job pretty much until he didn't want it anymore. And I think the Bills are closer to that than they are a team that would fire Sean McDermott in the divisional round for losing to Denver. And the reality is I also think, you know, in terms of reaction, I don't think the GM would be fired either. But I do think if it was just all loss, they lose the game 27-24, there's no egregious game management mistake, I think it'd be the first time that Bills fans would really be calling in more about Brandon Beane and how he should be under the microscope a little bit more than McDermott. That really hasn't happened yet. And this offseason and this roster and how they've kind of had to piece it together, and they picked up Brandon Cooks, and he's really important in the receiver room. The receiver conversation has been nonstop. So I don't think there's any chance McDermott gets fired. I mean, even with an egregious game mistake, it doesn't seem like the kind of thing they would do.
I'll get you out of here with this last thing. I'm picking the Bills to win this game. I'm picking them more because I don't believe in the Broncos, maybe more than I'm sold on Buffalo. But at this point, it just doesn't matter. I sat there on Christmas Day and I watched the Broncos. I just don't think that's a Super Bowl team. You struggled with 70% of Kansas City on Christmas Day. You struggle with the Chargers at the end of the season. I just don't believe in Denver. I think we're headed towards a third game between the Patriots and the Bills. What's your prediction? What do you think is going to happen on Saturday?
I agree. The Bills fans are really confident about this Denver game, more than they were last week about Jacksonville. There just seems to be a feel of exactly what you said. I know resumes don't matter once we get to the playoffs, and I've been saying that a lot. Like, your resume gets you in, and then how you play in match play is whether or not you advance. I just don't think that Bo Nix is going to have the answers. And everybody thinks they can run on the Bills. Everybody sees their run defense is ranked at the bottom, and some teams are able to do it. and some teams aren't. The Bills lost a game to Philadelphia a couple weeks ago, and Saquon Barkley did nothing. The offense was why it all went away. So I almost wonder if Sean Payton comes into this game thinking like, oh, everybody says you can run on this team, and a lot of Bills fans kind of welcome that. They don't give up 180 to every single rusher. They've had some pretty bad games, but they could be reasonably fine against Denver in the run game and get them into some negative down and distance, and that's where the offense goes to work, or the defense goes to work, and that secondary is just ready to get off the field. So I think they'll win, and I have no idea what to expect out of Houston and New England. I know Houston has an incredible defense that beat the Bills, of course, earlier in the year, but I tend to lean New England. I'm with you because I don't trust Houston's offense. So I think we're going to go for the rubber match back in New England. I'm with you.
That is our guy, Jeremy White of WGR in Buffalo, joining us on the show. Jeremy, we're going to continue to bother you as long as you guys keep winning, man. Hopefully we catch up with you next week.
I'll be ready.
Absolutely. That's Jeremy White joining us on the show with WGR out in Buffalo. I do want to call a little bit of an audible here. I promise you we'll get back to Bills, Broncos. We'll get back to the teams that are in the playoffs. This has come up enough that just makes me wonder, is this a couple of people on the text line? Is this maybe a consensus of how Chiefs fans are feeling? We got the time. Let's ask it. We got 2 texts today. Someone said, trading the 9th pick for TJ Watt sounds like it would be a steal. Someone else asked the question. We had this conversation a couple of days ago. Let's attack it from a different angle. Rob, let's say on Wednesday that Adam Schefter sends out a tweet that the Chiefs have made the decision they are trading the 9th overall pick for TJ Watt. What's the reception in Kansas City if that's the case? Because I'm telling you, at least the stance from this show would be they made the wrong decision. I don't want them to trade the 9th overall pick for TJ Watt. I think TJ Watt is a phenomenal player. I really do. He's one of the 10 best defensive players in the league. He's 31 years old with an injury history. I'm not trading the 9th overall pick for that player. Now, I get it. It's the offseason. It's mock trade time. It's mock draft time. So I'm just wondering if that actually happened, if there was real smoke, TJ Watt says that he's done. I don't think he's worth 2 first-round picks given his age and what's happened in the past. I also would be he looks like a declining player in some ways. In 2023, he had 19 sacks. In 2024, he had 11.5 sacks. In 2025, he had 7 sacks this year. This sounds to me like trading for Chris Jones before the contract. That's what it sounds like to me. And we've seen how that's worked out. I would be very much against trading for TJ Watt, but it's come up enough on the text line. I feel like it's at least worth exploring the topic a little bit more. If we got that report from Ian Rappaport, I would be upset that the Chiefs did that and gave up the possibility of drafting a 22-year-old on a rookie contract and having 5 years of club control for a 32-year-old TJ Watt during the course of the season, who appears to be a declining player on paper. What would you feel like, and do you think this is just a text line throwing stuff out there, or do you think there's real conversation about this?
So I'm happy that you said how this show would feel, because this show is we're in unison.
I know you well enough to know that you were not trading a top 10 pick for a 30-year-old.
So mad. I might be more mad at that than if they take Jeremiah Love at 9, and my head will explode.
I'd rather have Jeremiah Love at 9 than trading the 9th overall pick for TJ Watt.
Yeah, it's the difference between an F and an F minus. They're both bad decisions.
I don't know if I would give it an F minus, but I get you. You would think it's an F for sure.
It's an F. I think that's how this show would operate. I'm surprised by the text line, because when you started to ask the question, I felt like, yeah, most fans would be happy by that. There's a name cachet. He's had a lot of success in the league. Veteran player, solves a need, bing, bang, boom. And there's the sentiment that, the draft's a crapshoot. Brett Veach did a bad job with defensive linemen. I thought when you laid out the question, I had a sense of what Chiefs fans are going to say. But I'm sitting here reading the text line, and I think maybe Chiefs fans would feel more similar to how we feel. I'm just reading what people are saying. There is a frustration with this notion. There is an upset, feel toward that being a thing fans would do. So I will fully admit, when you first asked the question, I thought one thing. I've done a 180.
But you also saw it, too. The text line has brought up this trade at least 3 times so far this week. So it just got me thinking, is this really what you guys think? Like, tomorrow tomorrow, if this got announced, if that's what the Chiefs had done, I would be very, very upset if that was the case. I'd be very, very upset.
I agree. And I'm surprised that more fans are in our camp than the opposite. I thought fans would be like, yeah, TJ Watt, sign me up. But reading the text line right now, it feels like most people fall into where we fall in.
Somebody said Fesco said he would make this trade.
Well, then me and Fesco just disagree.
You got that audio? It's been a lot of trades going on. Didn't Drew say he would trade Andy Reid earlier in the week?
I'm not cutting every.
Didn't he say that?
I'm not cutting every hypothetical trade made on the station.
I was wondering, but didn't he say that though? He said he would trade.
Drew said he would trade Andy Reid for a first-round pick this offseason.
I'm just let that breathe for a minute. That's just I just wanted. I didn't have anything to say. I just wanted me to not say anything, and then that lets you know that that's how I feel about the move. You want to move on? Let's move on. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I mean, if we're going to throw out nonsensical trades, we can do that for the next 6-7 minutes. What about FAU for the #1 overall pick?
You remember when people wanted to trade Snead for Marvin Harrison Jr.? That was
pick.
That was a good time. That was a good offseason when we were treating L'Jarius Sneed like he was a quarterback there for a second. That was fun. I really do enjoy that offseason. Like, you think we get the 4th overall pick for L'Jarius Sneed? No, I don't. I don't think you're getting them. And then they got a future too.
And then people would text me and be like, have you seen the video of him jamming Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, I remember
I've seen that video.
Yeah.
He ain't getting a top 5 pick. It's crazy time.
I do remember that. That was a fun time. It really was. It really was a fun time. Let's play this. We played it earlier. In case you missed it, Gary Parrish throws out more Kobe Bryant comparisons with Darren Peterson.
If you would have seen Wally Zerbiak and Roy Hibbert talking about Darren Peterson last night, you would have understood why he's going to be the #1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft. He has barely played this season, but he just moves differently than everybody else. He looks different than everybody else. Like, literally last night on Inside College Basketball, as Brent Stover was pressing Wally Zerbiak on it, like, Wally, so Wally, what do you, he's like, you can see it. I see it. I know what it looks like. I've guarded Kobe Bryant, and that's what it looks like. Like, Wally Zerbiak was in All-Star games with Kobe Bryant, and he's watching that last night, and he's like, that's what it looks like. Look at his arms. Look at the way he moves. It almost looks like everybody else is playing full speed and he's playing 80% speed, but he's still getting wherever he wants to go. We were at Big 12 Media Day. I sat down, did a one-on-one with Darren Peterson, sat down, did a one-on-one with Bill Self. Afterwards, cameras off, and me and Matt and Orlando are just hanging out with Bill Self. He's like, did you talk to Darren? I'm like, yeah. What do you think? Seemed awesome. Impressive. He's like, yeah. I said, talk to me about him. I've seen DeBonta a lot. I would take him #1. Why does everybody else say Darren Peterson? And Bill said things like, I'm just telling you, we've been in scrimmages. And he knocks down 10 of 11 threes. And that's not even the best part of his game. Nobody can stay in front of him. Nobody can see what he sees. Okay, but what kind of teammate is he? The best. How is he to coach? The best. Work ethic? The best.
This is the one thing I'd be a little bit worried today with KU. Tuesday was an absolute buzzsaw. They came out and played with the right emotion. You got guys diving on the floor for loose balls. Tuesday's game was as perfect as you could quite possibly play. You knew the importance of it. Top 10 team coming into the crib. You're under 500 in Big 12 play. You needed that one. Can KU continue that energy? Baylor is not a good basketball team this year. They are 1-3 in conference play. They are 11-5 this season. This is not the Tweety Carter Baylor Bears. This is not a Baylor Bears team that won the championship a couple of years ago. This is a team that I would say is kind of in the same category that Kansas is. There is a clear hierarchy in the Big 12 that Kansas is not a part of right now. They are not Arizona. They are not BYU. They're not Houston. I don't even think they're Iowa State, even though they just beat them. Those are 1 seed, 2 seeds in the NCAA tournament. Kansas is probably somewhere between a 5 and a 7 seed. Baylor is probably in that same category. When you got a team like that at the crib, this is a game that you should win. The line is appropriate. Kansas is a 7.5-point favorite. I'm looking at this more so of what kind of energy is KU going to come out with? Because if they come out with the same energy that they had against Iowa State, they could beat Baylor by 30 points tonight. Like, they could really run Baylor off of the floor today. Or is Kansas going to play like a typical college basketball team? Hey, we got the one that we needed. We're at home. We think we're going to win. And you just come out there and this game is more uncomfortable than it needs to be in the final 5 minutes of the game. So to me, this game This game is not about me thinking that Baylor has a chance to come into Allen Fieldhouse and win. I'd be very surprised if Baylor won this game. To me, this game is about can KU continue to stack good performances one after another, and you got a chance to do that against Baylor.
The million-dollar question for KU fans is, was Tuesday against Iowa State a pivot and they will start playing closer to their ceiling, or is it an outlier and they're going to go back to what they were to start conference play? Last year's KU team probably struggles at home against Baylor. I saw that team last year. They probably win, you're right, but they've struggled at home. DeJuan Harrison Co. don't impress. KU fan, you know this. The first 3 games of the conference season, despite beating TCU, were unimpressive. It felt like there was a lot of ho-hum, we're Kansas, we're going to win this game energy. And they lost in Orlando. And they really survived TCU at home. And they lost to West Virginia. Was Tuesday after the players-only meeting and the energy was better and the number 2 team in the country came in, was that a pivot to, hey, it's time to lock in and we're going to be Kansas, play with a passion every night? Or was that a one-night thing? They're going to look like a regular college basketball team, and KU fans will be chewing on their fingernails because next week they have 2 road games, and road games in college basketball for regular teams are just inherently, you sweat it out. It's time to find out if Tuesday was a start of something or if it was just a one-off type of deal. And tonight's energy, more so than the final, tonight's energy will show you more than anything.
Yeah, and I mean, these are 3 all winnable games for Kansas. Baylor, at Colorado, at K-State. You can go 3 for 3 in these games. And then after that, I would say it gets pretty difficult. BYU, Texas Tech, Arizona, at Iowa State. You start to play the big dog teams in the Big 12. So rack up wins right now. Home game against Baylor, rack it up. Colorado is not a good basketball team. Kansas State, I don't care, it's a rivalry game. They are not a good basketball team. You got a chance to really start to eat and get healthy if you are KU, and you're starting to gain some confidence. You know now what to expect from Darren Peterson. Everybody's role is kind of defined on the team. Let's see how they get going. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk about the top story in sports right now that's not related to the NFL. The Dodgers, they just keep buying up everybody's players. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
This January, Fridays just got cooler, only at Harrah's Kansas City. Polar Patrol is making their rounds, and you can win $500 in free play. Just come out and play at any slot machine or table game for your chance to win $500 in free play. That's right, Fridays in January, the fun is on patrol and the prizes are ready to pop. So bundle up and head to Harrah's Kansas City where the good times keep flurrying. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Hey, Blues fans, ready to take your excitement to the next level? BetMGM is now available in Missouri, so shoot your shot with an official sports betting partner of the St. Louis Blues. Discover exciting Blues matchups by downloading the BetMGM app and getting instant access to a variety of parlay selection features and live betting options. Enjoy same-game parlays, boosted odds specials, the best daily promotions in the business, and so much more when you sign up. The chase is on for next Stanley Cup, so get hyped for the Blues action all season long with the official sports betting partner of the St. Louis Blues. BetMGM, now available in Missouri. Sign up today. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Who is the area's only dealer for Fronius professional welding equipment? Metal by the Foot, located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Okay, two big crashes that we're working. One near Shawnee, 635 southbound just before 35. Two right lanes are blocked. And then 70 westbound out near Manchester. Two left lanes blocked there. Big backups in both situations. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, let's talk about the top story. Kyle Tucker, he's a very, very good baseball player. The Dodgers, they are in the business of acquiring almost all of the good players. Last season, Kyle Tucker hit 270, 22 home runs, 73 RBIs. He had 140 hits last year. Kyle Tucker is very good. Well, today, he signed a 4-year, $240 million contract to go play for the Los Angeles Dodgers. If you don't believe me, Google their lineup. Their lineup is not fair. It's like if you turned off all the rules on MLB The Show and just built a perfect baseball team. They're laughing at us in Los Angeles.
Bottom line is, what the Dodgers are doing isn't cheating. They're not breaking any rules. They're playing within the system that Major League Baseball has set up. They go out, they invest, and they improve, and they win.
Right.
Sounds like a good formula to me.
Here's what you can give the Here's what I'm giving my friends who are complaining, who are Orioles and Nats fans back east. It's a tissue. Cry into this. And you can come at us. It's great for baseball because it gives the rest of baseball something to shoot for and something to a team to, and a team to aspire to be and to beat. And that's why last year attendance records were set in Major League Baseball. Yeah. When the Dodgers come to town, everybody wants to see the Dodgers.
Especially
and they want to see their
exactly.
team beat the Dodgers.
Yes.
They
Yeah,
won't
true.
beat them, but, you know, it's something to aspire to.
Go
cry into this.
Dodgers had a target on their back this last season, but that target is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
We love it.
All right. I don't think anyone is debating that the Dodgers are not breaking any Major League Baseball rules. No, they are very much operating within the rules of the game. Now, some of the economics of baseball allow them to do this. Their television contract is just more valuable than everybody else's. There's nothing that the Royals can do from a realistic standpoint to have their television deal be like the Dodgers television deal. A lot more people live in Los Angeles than live in Kansas City. So there is It is impossible for the Royals to be able to close the gap from the local television dollars that the Dodgers generate than the Royals. So they just have a financial advantage, a geographical advantage that Kansas City or Pittsburgh cannot tap into. This is something that basketball in some ways has signed up for and football has signed up for that help the overall growth of the game. Every free agent is viable in the NBA. LeBron cannot sign for more money in Houston than he could in Milwaukee. They have it capped in that way. Now, players have a choice. You get to decide where you want to work in free agency. I think most people understand that. But in free agency, everybody has the same ability to sign everybody. And they also have incentivized it in the NBA that when you have Victor Wembanyama, in order for him not to just directly go to the Knicks, they have created ways and systems for him to stay in San Antonio and incentivized it for him to stay. So you can keep Steph Curry. You can keep Giannis. You can keep these guys around. That's really important. In the NFL, you have the ability to keep your quarterback if you're Kansas City. So you're not worried about whether or not he's going to go play for the Dallas Cowboys. They have systems in place that keep Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, that keep Josh Allen in Buffalo. That's one side of it. That's not the way baseball operates. Free agents are not available to all teams. There's no world in which Kyle Tucker could have signed with the Royals. There's no Royal in which Kyle Tucker could have signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates, not at a fair market value kind of deal. That's broken. And in this way, this is where I think the perception becomes a reality. This is not me telling you that baseball is unhealthy. Baseball is in a very, very good place. It is very locally relevant, and that really matters in baseball. And people watch the playoffs and the World Series. So baseball is great. Baseball is not dying in the way that people want you to think. But the perception becomes reality where there are a group of fan bases in your sport that A, think the financials of the game are unfair and also go into the season with no hope that their team is going to be good. That is not healthy for the game, for that perception to be around your sport. So no one thinks that the Dodgers are cheating. They are not cheating. The Dodgers are following the rules that are placed. Well, then the rules are broken. And as we are getting close to starting up a new agreement, I think most baseball fans would agree it is time for some form of a salary cap. And not just a cap at the top end, also a salary floor. That's what the NFL has. There's a cap at the top, and we don't spend enough time talking about it. There's also a minimum amount of money you can spend. You can't just put out a nonsense product and just take all the TV money. And no, you can't do that in the NFL. You have to reinvest it into the product. You have to reinvest it into the team and go out and be competitive in free agency. So it's always turning over rosters. That's not the way that baseball is set up. Baseball would be better and more popular on a national level. It will never not be popular on a local level. People are still going to watch their Cubs and their Dodgers and their Cardinals and their Royals. They're still going to watch it. It would be more viable and more competitive on a national scale, A, if free agency included everybody, and it doesn't include everybody, and if there wasn't a perception around baseball that there are 10 teams not trying. There's 10 organizations that are not trying to be competitive. I've said this before, but the worst thing for baseball is when baseball owners start to sell you that it is in our best interest to not be competitive. It is in our best interest to save your money and trust us with your money because eventually we'll spend it if we think we can be good. That's a terrible, terrible philosophy. You cannot do that in the NFL. You cannot do that in the NBA. And the fact that teams openly do that in baseball should be illegal. You should not be able to do that. So if the Dodgers are willing to give up some power, and I think the Dodgers should be willing to give up the power, then Las Vegas / Oakland / Sacramento, I don't know where they're playing, they have to be willing to spend a certain amount of money every single year to field the most viable and competitive baseball team that they can. Because this financial structure in baseball does not work.
I agree. I also think deferred payments is, absolute nonsensical.
I agree.
But we don't have to get into the weeds there. Here's the thing. Do you think the Kyle Tucker thing has shifted public sentiment enough where the lockout that is definitely coming, or strike, I don't know the exact terminology, I believe it's a lockout. Do you believe that this move has changed public sentiment enough that enough owners are going to fight the good fight for the salary cap and floor. Because John
I think that most fans want a salary cap in baseball. I do believe that.
I agree with that. Now the question will be, is the owner of the Pirates, the Royals, the Sacramento, San Jose, whatever, Athletics, the Marlins, is that group willing to stand united and get enough in their coalition to win that fight? Because I would tell you, you're right. The Dodgers right now do not care about changing the rules. The rules have benefited the Dodgers. But you need a coalition of 18 to 20 teams to say, screw that. They got Kyle Tucker, and they got Mookie Betts, and they got Freddie Freeman, and they got Shohei, and just, we're not doing this anymore. We're not allowing one team to dominate the free agency. And can they get a coalition together during the lockout to force the Dodgers into a cap? Because if the Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, Red Sox, name a big market team, are able to break the will of the smaller market teams, then the only thing in baseball that's going to change is maybe deferred payments. But without a cap and floor, you're going to continue to see stories like this.
I don't have a good answer to your question. I'm with you. It will probably require some games missed. The NBA, they have been willing to miss games for the things that are really important to them on both sides. The players have been willing to miss games, and the owners have been willing to miss games. But the owners, to your point, in the NBA, the small owners got together to say, we are not just going to draft these guys and create a system in which by the time they're free agents, they're automatically going to Los Angeles. They're automatically going to New York. They have created a system that allows Memphis to keep Ja Morant, that allows Wemby to stay where he is. So you don't have to be fearful of that, at least early on. Now, eventually, every NBA player hits free agency, and then you can just determine where you want to go. But they have absolutely created a system where you get more of your prime in the home city. That's what baseball needs. Because baseball, you have a system in which from the moment you draft Eric Hosmer, Royals fans feel like there is a countdown on when he's going to be off the team. And ultimately, they were right. Hey, he's going to be so good of a player, we can't re-sign him. They also need a strategy for international players, too. Like, when you're an international player and you are coming over, it shouldn't just be highest bidder. You should go into the draft like everybody else. That's not the way the NBA works. The NBA does not work. Victor Wembanyama can just decide what team he wants to go to. No, you go into the draft like everybody else. Even though you're an international player that didn't play American basketball, Luka Doncic goes in the draft. He can't just decide, oh, well, I want to go play for the New York Knicks. No, that is a system that is not viable. Baseball is an incredible sport. There is some business side, money side things that they just have to get in order. There has to be a better system for international players. There has to be better revenue sharing when it comes to TV dollars. There needs to be a salary cap. There needs to be a salary floor, or we're just going to keep churning our wheels with every single year, either the Mets, Phillies, Yankees, Dodgers, they get all the free agents, and then you peasants, you poor teams, we'll let you decide. And you got to be really excited about some guy who was really good 4 years ago and hope that he can maybe be good for you this season. That is just not a long-term viable financial plan, in my opinion. Coming up on the other side, let's get you ready for the 4 games that we have in the NFL this weekend. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the divisional round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in, take a shot on an upset, or build a parlay that fits the moment. For me, I'm a Josh Allen believer, and I do not believe for 1 second in Bo Nix. So give me the Bills minus 1.5 in Denver. Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/local and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo? Absolutely not.
Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Okay, 2 big crashes that we're working. One near Shawnee, 635 southbound just before 35. 2 right lanes are blocked. And then 70 westbound out near Manchester. 2 left lanes blocked there. Big backups in both situations. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
All right, let's take a closer look at the 4 games that we have coming up this weekend in the National Football League. Let's start with Bills and Broncos. Very, very simply put, I don't trust Denver. I think it is hard to really wrap our minds around how bad the Chiefs were at the end of the season. The team that they fielded those last couple of weeks with the injuries and guys, that is one of the worst Chiefs teams that we have ever watched, that we have ever witnessed. The Broncos struggled with that team. It was 13-13 Christmas night in the 4th quarter. The Broncos needed a 14-play, 65-yard drive to beat the hapless version of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, where Chris Oladokun threw for 66 yards, a team that couldn't run the football, a team whose number 1 wide receiver was Juju Smith-Schuster. The Broncos struggled with that team. Then follow up the next week, they then play the Los Angeles Chargers and struggled with that team. I can't pick Denver to win. I cannot pick them to win. Not in good faith. I cannot pick them to win. I don't love Buffalo, but I like Buffalo more than I like Denver. I got to pick them to win the game. I really do. I might end up being wrong, and that's perfectly fine. I get it. They're at home. They're the 1 seed. They're rested. They're a slight favorite in this one. I cannot pick the team that I watched on Christmas Day go up against the Kansas City Chiefs. I cannot pick that team. That team's not good to me. So that's the first game. The second game is Niners and Seahawks. Now, I got a little bit of a soft spot for this San Francisco team. I like Kyle Shanahan. I like how hard they're competing. I like that you haven't seen them this season make excuses for the amount of injuries that they have. I mean, on the road against Philadelphia, with a quarterback that threw 2 interceptions, for a team that lost their Hall of Fame tight end in the middle of the game, for a team in which Christian McCaffrey ran for 48 yards and they ran the ball 25 times for 75 yards. They went on the road and won a playoff game. Demarcus Robinson was their leading receiver. Kyle Juszczyk, who's a fullback, he had 50 yards receiving. I'm sorry, I got a soft spot for San Francisco. And I know everybody likes Seattle, and I get it. They've had a great season, and now everybody believes in Sam Darnold. You got to show me, man. I'm born and raised in Missouri. You got to show me. And I refuse to be early on the I believe in Sam Darnold train. I don't mind hopping on that train until we get to San Francisco in the Super Bowl. That's when I'll hop in the I believe in Sam Darnold. But until then, no. I think San Francisco goes on the road. I think they are very competitive in that matchup between those two teams. They had a chance to win the game a couple of weeks ago. That game was close in the fourth quarter. So I'm riding with San Francisco. Now, when we get to the night to Sunday afternoon, we got Texans and we got Patriots. My pick, Rob, is very, very simple. I'm picking the Patriots because I trust their quarterback more than I trust Houston's quarterback. I saw a quarterback against the Pittsburgh Steelers and C.J. Stroud that looked lost, that looked confused. I saw a quarterback that's going to make a couple of big critical mistakes. Now, I don't think that Pittsburgh is a team that's capable of taking advantage of those things. I think New England is. You're not throwing 2 interceptions against New England and thinking that you are winning and going on the road and coming out with the victory. I think the Patriots take care of business. I think they're going to win this home game. Now, I'm not going to put it past the Houston Texans, and we could just be talking about a defense that is just having one of those kind of runs. This is a 2015 Broncos kind of run. This is a Legion of Boom. This is one of the best defenses we've seen in the last 25 years. This Houston's team, they got 3 legitimate pass rushers. They got the second best pass rusher in the league, probably a top 5 pass rusher in Danielle Hunter. Rankins can get after the quarterback. They got maybe the best cornerback in the league in Derek Stingley. And Kwame Lassiter is also a dog on the other side. So this is a defense that they don't really appear to have a weakness. So I would not be surprised if Houston goes in there, they turn this into a low-scoring 13-17. Hey, we're going to ground and pound, and CJ, don't turn the ball over and make mistakes. They can absolutely win. I'm going to pick New England. In the Sunday nightcap between the Rams and the Bears, I guess for me, I think it's a chance that the Bears, I think there's a chance they get the beats. I think the clock has potentially struck midnight for the Chicago Bears. Now, I've been picking against them for weeks, so don't listen to me. I've been picking against them for weeks. But I just think there's a chance that the clock has struck midnight. And they lost to San Francisco not that long ago. They lost at the end of the season when they were still kind of trying. I mean, basically, they haven't beat a good team that wasn't Green Bay in about a month and a half. Was the last time that they beat a good team that wasn't the Packers, who completely faltered down the stretch. The Packers lost their last 5 games of the season. The last good team that you would say they beat was Philadelphia, another dysfunctional team. I like this Rams team. I think this Rams team is complete. I think they do a lot of things well. I think Sean McVay, if you give him this time to study a defense like Chicago, I think the Rams can win this game kind of comfortably. In fact, that's probably, if you're asking me right now to pick one winner that I feel very strongly in, I think it's the Rams going on the road and beating the Chicago Bears. So my picks for it, I would take Buffalo on the money line. I would take San Francisco plus the 7. That feels like the safer bet. I would take the Patriots minus the 3, and I would take the Rams minus 4.5. That's how I would handicap the weekend.
We can get into each game individually here if we want, but I have a question for you. What is it about the Niners that you just see that maybe I don't? The Seahawks are rested. The Seahawks are at home. I think their quarterbacks are, at best, equal. I don't think Brock Purdy is light years better than Sam Darnold. I don't think Sam Darnold is light years better than Brock Purdy. They're kind of the same. Christian McCaffrey, quiet as it's kept, has not run the ball very effectively this season. I know he's been great as a weapon. He's been what DeAnthony Thomas was at Oregon. He's offensive weapon, but in a pure run game, he has not been that guy. That Seahawks defense, they aren't Texans good, but they are in the next tier down. They are incredible.
They're very good.
And right now, the Niners wide receivers are Chiefs cast-offs, me and you. Like, I don't know how that ragtag group is going to stick around with the Seahawks. Like
they stuck around 2 weeks ago. Seattle, for all
they have lost George Kittle since that game, though. To be fair,
for how beat up the San Francisco 49ers are, this Seahawks team scored 13 points against them 2 weeks ago. 13. So all of this, will they run the football effectively? And Sam Darnold and JSN, they scored one touchdown 2 weeks ago. 1 game ago for them against this team. So this game's going to be close late. You're going to have a shot. Now, I'm betting that San Francisco's not just going to score 3 points in this game. Do you think that San Francisco can get to 13 against this team? Do you think they can get to 17? If they can get to 17, they can win this game. Now, you're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to do some things offensively that you didn't do. But do you think that San Francisco can get to 17 in this game? They scored 23 against Philadelphia. If they can do that, they can win this game. If they scored 3 points like they did a couple weeks ago, then we're wasting our time. They ain't beating nobody with that offense.
I think it's more likely than not they score under 17. I think maybe I'm in the wrong, and I think it's possible, but I don't think scoring 23 on Philadelphia is impressive to me. Philadelphia was the epitome of dysfunction this year. And in the
on offense, not really on defense. On offense, though, for sure.
I mean, it permeated everywhere. I agree. It was more offensive than defensive, but the Eagles were just not good. And I feel like if the Niners had faced anyone else in the first round, literally anyone, if they faced Green Bay, Chicago, whomever, pick a team in the NFC, if they had faced that team in the first round, the Niners would have been eliminated right now. They don't have any weaponry, and we know the stats. We have the info. When Brock Purdy isn't given more, he's just okay. There's nothing wrong with okay, and Kyle Shanahan can.
You say
more?
Okay. I would say right now they just they might not even have enough. They might not even have enough. Who's their best receiver heading into this game?
Juwan Jennings.
It might be Demarcus Robinson. Their best receiver might be Demarcus Robinson, which is scary to think.
I think you're overreacting to one game. Demarcus Robinson had like 200 yards this year. Juwan Jennings had like 700. Like, I think the answer is Juwan Jennings. I also think, and I know we need to take a break, one of the reasons they got to 23 against the Eagles was a trick play. So, like, if you're telling me they're going to empty the bag of tricks.
You got to. It's the playoffs. You got to.
We'll see.
There ain't no tomorrow.
I think there's a better chance that the Niners get scrubbed than they win.
Juwan Jennings, he had 55 catches for 643 yards and 9 touchdowns.
He's their best receiver.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
He would also be the Chiefs' best receiver.
Where's Ricky Pearsall at? What's he doing, man?
He's battling some injury.
Man, he's always hurt. Bro, you got to, come on now. We need you. This is the playoffs. You got to drink some Robitussin. Put a Band-Aid on it. We need you, Ricky Pearsall. Coming up, we'll continue to get you ready for this weekend in the NFL. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law. Mike's got this. Multi-car crash 635 southbound to 435. 2 right lanes are blocked. Crash down on 470 eastbound past Raytown. It is the right lane blocked. And then Lee Summit. That crash 50 westbound at 291 Highway. Left lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5, The Fan.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
At Shawnee Mission Ford, you get it all. Pricing on a great selection of new Fords, plus a lifetime powertrain warranty, along with the 1-year Select Plus protection. From America, for America. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more.
Dane and Hughes here, and it's playoff time, and there's no better place to bet the chase for the championship than Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be. Whether you're betting championship or conference futures, sides, totals, or prop bets for every round, there's no better place to make your bets throughout January all the way to the big game. Circa Sports, with high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When the cold sets in across KC, AB May is the trusted name for keeping your home warm, safe, and secure. From furnace repairs to system replacements, we deliver reliable solutions and unmatched care and professionalism. Whether it's a sudden breakdown or routine maintenance, AB May is here to help. Trusted by generations of Kansas City homeowners, we're committed to doing things the right way every time. Call AB May at 913-732-9993 or visit us at abmay.com.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Heartland Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Heartland Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Coming up on Sunday in the Pro Football Playoffs, New England, a 3-point home favorite against Houston, total in the game 40.5. The big injury news in this game, it does not look like Houston will have its number 1 wide receiver, which is bad news going up against a New England defense that just shut down LA last Sunday night. And while Houston's defense is awesome and wrecked Pittsburgh last Monday night, New England's quarterback playing at an MVP level, and I think this price is probably going to move. So if you can grab New England -3 coming up on Sunday against Houston, that's the bet I like in that game. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Visit AnthonyPHC.com today.
Plumbing problem? Anthony makes repairs simple and stress-free. Right now, save $75 on any plumbing repair. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Hopefully you guys had a great week. We appreciate you guys making us a part of your day. So we're going to do this 5 o'clock hour a little bit differently. We went to every AFC city that's still alive in the playoffs. We're going to play a chunk of that for the hit. So hit 1, hit 2, hit 3, etc. That's how we're going to do it. Before we do that, I would like to have this conversation before we move forward in the show. I try not to be this guy should be fired guy. There's certainly sports talk hosts that are like that, but I just don't think that's the job. But I also live in the real world, and I also understand that, hey, teams are firing people. And just because you were really good in 2021 doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be good in 2026, and usually that means you got to make some changes. The Chiefs are making some important changes, I think, and I applaud them for that. The Chiefs have made a change at running back coach. That's important to me. The Chiefs have made a change at wide receiver coach. Also important. rumors are coming out that the Chiefs are going to make some changes when it comes to their offensive line coaching situation. I understand that the Chiefs are not going to make big changes. I mean, they're not firing their head coach. They're not firing their general manager. I don't think that they should. So you're going to kind of change some of the formula when it comes to the assistants and just breathe some fresh air into this thing. We've talked enough about offensive coordinators, so we don't have to talk about it for this conversation. This is my question. Can anybody explain to me why Dave Toub is still around? Can anybody explain to me how Dave Toub, I mean, think about the areas of the team that underperformed this season. Running back, underperformed. They're getting a new running back coach. Wide receivers, underperformed. They're getting a new wide receiver coach. Offensive line, been a little inconsistent over the last couple of years. They're contemplating making a change. Is their special teams good? Am I missing something? Because the Chiefs pay more than any other team at field goal kicker. No one thinks they have the best field goal kicker in the National Football League. They don't have the best one in their division at this point. They don't get big plays from kick returns. They don't get big plays when it comes to punt returns. They get penalties when they do from a holding or I don't understand how Dave Toub can continue to be their special teams coach other than continuity and nostalgia. That's it. I think the game has potentially passed Dave Toub by, and he has had an incredible run. Dave Toub has been a special teams coordinator in the National Football League since 2001. It is 2026. It's hard to be great at your job for 25, 26 years. There's very few people that are able to do it at this level. I feel like sometimes when we have these conversations, I come off like an ageist, and I really don't. But I think for the most part, sports and athletics are a young man's new ideas kind of game. If you look at the kind of coaches that are getting hired in the National Football League, there's guys that come off the Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay tree. And Sean McVay is usually around a lot of other 30-somethings with new, fresh ideas. They've grown up with a different way of thinking. Dave Toub is 63 years old. He'll be 64 years old. I'm not saying you're too old for the earth, but I'm saying if you are talking about new ideas and new talent and new blood, why do you have a 63, 64-year-old special teams coordinator? Go find a really talented 37-year-old potential future head coach. I asked the question yesterday, would Andy Reid hire young Andy Reid? Would Andy Reid hire an offensive coordinator who didn't play quarterback, no ties to the organization? Would he hire that individual? I think we were starting to see that Andy Reid would not hire a younger version of himself. Would Andy Reid hire John Harbaugh today? Because John Harbaugh got his start as a special teams coordinator and turned that into being a head coach, and he's been really, really good at it. I heard someone say this one time, that a special teams coordinator, they show you that they could be a good head coach because you got to do more with the bottom 8 guys on the roster. This is a team that obviously has great respect for Dave Toub. He's so well respected in that building, he gets to pick one of the roster spots. One of these spots is yours, and we know it. Hey, that's a Dave Toub pick. Has Dave Toub made good picks when it comes to punt return? Has he made good picks when it comes to kick return? The answer is no. Are they disciplined when it comes to special teams? Do you think he can help turn around Harrison Butker's career? Because the answer for me is no on all those things. I just wouldn't bring Dave Toub back. I don't know who the special teams coordinator is. That's not really an area in which I'm keeping that close of an eye in the NFL. And, oh, hey, there's this guy. But you know who should know? Andy Reid. You know who should know? Brett Veach. That's your job to know. That's your job description. What if Dave Toub retired tomorrow? You don't have an idea of who could potentially replace him? I don't know the argument to keep Dave Toub around. If you're telling me you're making changes when it comes to the staff, and you're making him a running back, you're making him a wide receiver, you're making him an offensive line, you have to tell me how their special teams could be as they haven't scored a special teams touchdown since COVID. You know how long ago that was? I'm sorry, Dave Toub's got to go. He's got to go.
I have nothing more to add. I am surprised that he has survived this long. Someone on the text line says maybe the fact he was instrumental in helping get the new rules to the kickoffs done gives him a little bit of extra protection to maybe get the job done.
They're not good at it.
They're terrible at it.
You know who he is? James Naismith of Kansas. You created a game that you're bad at coaching. That's who you are.
100%.
So you help come up with these new kickoff rules. Then that means the Chiefs should be the best at it. They should be the best team in the league at the kickoff rules. They're not. They're not. I want to move on. I want to talk about the playoffs. Again, I don't want to be on here every day yelling, oh, this guy's got to be fired. I think it's over for Dave Toub. You lived a great life. You really have. You lived a great life. You won championships. You've coached in Super Bowls. You got to coach Devin Hester. You have been one of the best special teams coaches of all times. Bro, it's over. It's over. Go find a really talented 41-year-old, super ambitious head special teams coordinator and a guy that's looking to move up. Dave Toub is one of the people you've just become really complacent. You got a nice six-figure job. You've been doing this six-figure job now since 2013. It's time. It's over. That would be my message, but I don't think that's what they're going to do.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrington, before we get to those chunks for all the playoff teams, well, you know the hits are brought to you by Baker University. Make your next era orange at Baker University, the first university in Kansas, and ranked number 1 in return on investment among private universities in the state. Baker University, forever in our orange era.
All right, let's start with the New England Patriots for hit number 1. We had Adam Kaufman on the show, and I asked him how is he feeling after watching Drake May's first playoff start.
All right, well, bigger picture, if I'm just looking at that game and kind of what it meant, because we've talked about this along the way, that, you know, a lot of people looked at the Patriots 4 wins 2 years ago under Belichick, 4 wins last year under Mayo. They jumped to 14 in year 1 under Mike Vrabel. And, of course, nationally, the narrative is the schedule. And who have they beaten? They've got that one good win against the Bills in terms of playoff teams, and the other time they faced them, they blew a 21-point lead. So how good is this team? And look, if the Patriots had lost to the Chargers, nobody around here would have said, oh, season's a failure, because clearly they overachieved by a massive margin. The win total going into the year was 8.5. They won 14 games. But people would have been fully right to be sitting there disappointed and upset and feeling like there was something, you know, as a home favorite in the wild card round, you are expected to win that game, much the same, by the way, against the Texans now in the divisional round. But, you know, the big picture element of it is winning that game, I think, just kind of validated the season, right? You know, you get into the dance and you have a good opponent, you know, obviously an offensively inconsistent, and Herbert with the finger injury and you know, the shattered offensive line, all of that, but still a really good defense on the other side that no one's going to sit there and say that's not a good opponent. So for the Patriots to go out there, win that game, lower scoring, kind of a defensive rock fight, I think this upcoming game is going to be similar to that. I think that was just kind of the okay. Now, from a fan perspective, you've got the it's all house money now. They won the one they really had to satisfy everyone and silence some of the critics, the doubters, and now let's see what they can do as they're into the Elite Eight, if you will. And look, internally, though, none of that is the conversation. These guys are not satisfied. They are looking at really shocking people, and in a field in both conferences, but especially the AFC, that is as wide open as it is, with no Mahomes and no Lamar and no Burrow even. You know, yeah, there's Josh Allen, but any of these 4 teams that are remaining are capable of making a run.
What's the feeling and emotion heading into this one? Because you got a very young quarterback playing in his second postseason game, but he's going up against one of the best defenses that we've seen maybe in the last 10 years or so. This is the defense that can get after the quarterback. This is the defense that can take the ball away, and this is the defense that can score. How do you feel about Drake May going up against that Texans defense?
Yeah, on the one hand, I feel like there's a lot of all of what you just said, and people talking about this team like it's the 85 Bears or something like that, and they're not. I mean, win something, right? It's an incredible defense. It's the number one rated defense. They've got all pros all over the place, an incredible defensive front, multiple guys, Hunter Anderson with double-digit sack seasons. I mean, Drake May is going to be under siege. There's no doubt about it. But in terms of the overall feel going into the game, I think you look at it and say, confidence, not cockiness, right? If it were the Steelers, I would have been sitting here treating this like it were a freaking bye week, to be perfectly honest with you. Another tomato can, as a popular writer, Dan Shaughnessy around here, has said for years about these inferior opponents that come into Foxborough as a little, stepping stone on the way to the AFC title game. That's not what the Texans are. But if I'm ranking the units, right, the main units, the big four, if you will, take special teams out of it, I'm going Texans defense 1, then I'm going Patriots offense, and then I'm going Texans Patriots defense, and then really a distant fourth with no Nico Collins for me is the Texans offense. This is not an impressive offense. I know there were 30 points last week against Pittsburgh, but there was a pick six that created 7 of those. There, was a late surge in the fourth quarter. That game was 7-6 going into the fourth quarter. That thing absolutely could have gone either way. I just don't. I'm 10 straight wins. I realize it's not a team to be taken lightly.
That was Adam Kaufman, who covers the New England Patriots. Let's hear from Houston, and Sean Pendergast will make that hit number 2.
Number 2.
All right, our conversation with Sean Pendergast started with this. I think this Texans defense is the best defense we've seen in the NFL since the 2015 Denver Broncos. That team won the Super Bowl.
I was on a show a couple hours ago in Ireland, actually, talking about this game, and that's the same stretch of chronology that I brought up with this defense too. I said the 2015 Broncos, best defense since the 2015 Broncos. Obviously not as decorated as them or the Legion of Boom yet, but I think that degree of talent, and I honestly, I think the trademark of this team, maybe even more than both of those teams, is just the violence that they play with. This is a bunch of killers. They're awesome guys off the field. That's the wild thing. You couldn't meet a bunch of nicer guys, but on the field, they are absolute killers. I mean, they are out for blood, and they're really, I was asked what the weaknesses for the defense are, and it's funny, you have to get so nitpicky to find something that they're merely not good at. Not bad. There's nothing they're bad at. There's a few little things that they're not great. Like they're not great in the red zone. The solution is just don't let anybody in the red zone. They're not. They give up. They give up big chunk plays from time to time. They've had issues at times tackling, but they've been much better tackling this year. They have Pro Bowl level players at every level, and they're overloaded with Pro Bowl players in the secondary and on the defensive line. It's been, if you're a Texan fan, it's been an absolute joy to watch.
What does no Nico Collins mean for this offense on Sunday?
I would say it's obviously detrimental. Nico's one of the 6 or 7 best receivers in football. He makes big plays at big times in big games. He is a clutch wide receiver. So it's not great. I can tell you if it had happened in either of the last 2 postseasons, and you guys know this because you played the Texans in the game that eliminated them last year. If they had no Nico Collins last year, they wouldn't have scored any points. Nico Collins is he was the only guy who could get open for them once the postseason rolled around because they'd lost Diggs and they lost Tank Dell. This year they've actually found some solutions offensively outside of Nico. The 2 rookies that they drafted out of Iowa State, Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll, have been contributors, especially Higgins, in the red zone. He scored 6 or 7 touchdowns this year. He had 500 or 600 yards receiving. Xavier Hutchinson, another Iowa State guy. We collect Iowa State guys, Carrington. That's what we do. A lot of places go to Alabama and Georgia to get their receivers. We go to Iowa State, baby. That's where we go. But Xavier Hutchinson in his 3rd year has turned into something. Christian Kirk had a huge game on Monday, which he'd not done all year. He had 239 yards receiving all year. He had a $144 on Monday against the Steelers. So obviously he's going to need to have another big game. And Dalton Schultz has had a pretty good season. I rattle off these names to say they've got guys they can throw the ball to. They've played without Nico Collins twice this year. Once when he had his first concussion back in Week 8 against San Francisco, and then in Week 18 they rested him against the Colts. They're 2-0 in both of those games. The Niner game is the more significant one because that's obviously when everybody's still trying, and that was C.J. Stroud's best game of the season. He was 30 of 38 for over 300 yards. So they've got experience playing without Nico. More importantly, they've got experience succeeding without Nico. It's not ideal, but I think for what they need in this game, which I don't think they're going to need 30 points or anything, I think they can get the job done.
I'll get you out of here with this, Sean. I'm picking the Patriots for this reason. I trust their quarterback more than I trust you guys' quarterback, and I think it really comes down to, can you eliminate a big mistake against Houston's defense? That game against the Steelers was close. Aaron Rodgers and their offense couldn't eliminate the mistakes, and next thing you know, you look up, and I thought that game was over when it was 16-6. Pittsburgh was not putting together 2 drives to score on that Texans defense. That's where I'm at, but you could obviously sell me on Houston winning this game. Where are you at heading into this? How do you handicap this thing?
Well, I've got the Texans winning. I got them winning in a low-scoring game, 17-13. This is what I think you and I have not mentioned yet. The New England Patriots have played a dog crap schedule all year long. They have the level of defenses Drake May has gone up against is I don't want to say embarrassingly bad because it's not his fault that they're bad, but it is they have the worst strength of schedule in the league this year by a mile. And Drake May has put up really good numbers this year. The few times he's played against good defenses, the numbers haven't been all that great, and that's where a lot of his turnovers have come in.
That is Sean Pendergast, who joined us earlier on the show. We'll get you ready for Bills and Broncos coming up on the other side. Rob, let's talk a little bit more about the Texans and Patriots game. I really struggle with what to do with C.J. Stroud because I loved C.J. Stroud after his rookie year. C.J. Stroud, his rookie season, completed 64% of his passes, threw for 4,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, and had a 101 quarterback rating. C.J. Stroud's rookie year is as good of a rookie season that we've seen in the last 10 years. Jaden Daniels' year was very strong, but we were talking about first year, not sitting behind anybody, making all your starts, help guiding them to the playoffs, really strong rookie year. Last year, he threw fewer touchdowns, threw 7 more interceptions. This season, there was not a big difference between Davis Mills and C.J. Stroud when the Texans played. C.J. Stroud had a bad season. He threw for 3,000 yards in 14 games. He threw 19 touchdown passes in those 14 games and 8 interceptions. He did not play well. They did not win their first playoff game because their quarterback was good. No, they won that game because they have one of the best defenses that we've seen in modern NFL. I just don't trust C.J. Stroud. And I think a very interesting offseason talking point is going to be, from a financial standpoint, what do you do with C.J. Stroud? Because NFL history tells you it's time to pay your quarterback. I don't know how you can watch C.J. Stroud and now feel like you're ready to make that level of commitment to him as a quarterback. If I'm looking at the guys who have gotten paid, who I would say are in this category, I cannot think of some positive stories on the other side. I can't think of a success story where you think you got the 14th best quarterback in the league, yet you paid him like you thought he was Josh Allen, and you end up having a fairy tale happily ever after kind of life. No, I can tell you how most of the time that has been a disaster. You signed Tua to this kind of deal. You signed Daniel Jones to that kind of deal. You signed Kyler Murray or one of those kind of quarterbacks to those kind of deal. My advice would be to Houston to not do anything. Don't do anything. Well, pick up his option. That's smart. Pick up his 5th-year option, and I would say you got 3 more years to figure it out with him. Let's see how he performs next year. We got the 5th-year option, and then we got the ability to franchise tag him. But what I think a lot of these teams do is you have certain advantages that you have while your quarterback is on a rookie deal. You now are going to take all of those advantages and give them away. Can you build the defense that they've built with the quarterback that's making $280 million? Because the answer is no. You can't build that kind of defense. You can only build that kind of defense because your quarterback ain't making no money. So why would you run into a situation to give him any money? Right now, he's making $9 million a year. Does anybody think that C.J. Stroud, who right now is making $9 million a year, should be making $59 million a year? Because that's what the NFL history would tell you that's what he should do. And I just don't know how you can do that.
I don't disagree with you. I think it's a smart play, but isn't that just delaying the inevitable? Because let's just play it out. You wait, you play his 4th year, you pick up his option for his 5th year. At the end of the 5th year, let's say he's exactly what he's been doing. Middle of the road quarterback, but finds a way to keep winning postseason games.
Then move on. And I know teams don't do that.
NFL teams never.
I'm with you.
Saying they don't do that's an understatement.
Somebody's got to dare to be different. There's going to be an owner that looks at the same information that I have and said, why would we continue this system that's very ridiculous? Now, I know this isn't going to happen, but Houston would be in a better situation if they traded C.J. Stroud right now and took that money to go get Malik Willis. They would be in a better financial situation if they do that. You'd have more draft picks, you'd have a competent quarterback, and you can build around that. You'd be in a better situation. Now, I know the NFL, they're not going to do that. But just, I don't know how you can see the production you've gotten at quarterback and now turn around and pay him Jared Goff's 4 years, $212 million deal. I just don't know how you can do it.
I think the answer to that question, it might be GMs, it might be coaches, it might be owners, it might be all three. I think there is massive fear in the NFL.
100% there's a fear.
Of being 3-14. Of being the 4-13, of being the Jets. Like, what you're describing, the Jets are a bad example because they were never doing any winning, but the Jets, they said, hey, we're going to piece it together this year with Justin Fields, and if we're good, we'll figure it out. If we're bad, we'll take a draft pick. It's a stopgap guy. The same way Baker Mayfield was, that one just worked. The same way Tyrod Taylor has been about 15 times in his career. The problem is when that goes wrong, you go 4-13, 3-14, 5-12. And you know what owners do? They get pissed. They don't accept that. And they fire GMs, they fire head coaches. They then say, move on, we got to change everything. So it's all of them. Every single tier of the power structure of every team in the league, whether it's coach, GM, owner, they're all so terrified of what happens when you go and bottom out without the quarterback that you continually see them pay Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa. Like, until an owner says, I'm going to stick it out and be bad for a year, but we don't care, like how baseball owners do, you are going to continue to see this churn of quarterback contracts in the NFL.
Would you give Daniel Jones that contract, the one we're talking about, that high-end deal?
No.
I asked that question because this season, Daniel Jones and C.J. Stroud played in the same amount of games. Actually, in fact, Daniel Jones played in fewer games. He played in 13 games. C.J. Stroud played in 14 games. Daniel Jones had a higher completion percentage. Daniel Jones threw for more yards this season. He had a higher yards per attempt this season and had a better quarterback rating. If the Colts came out and gave Daniel Jones that contract, you guys would call their new owner certified crazy. If it's crazy to give Daniel Jones that money, somebody has to explain to me how it's not crazy to give C.J. Stroud that money, because turning around and paying him like he's Joe Burrow is insane, in my opinion, and that's what the NFL is going to tell you got to do at the end of this season. Coming up on the other side, that was one game of the NFL playoffs. We'll get you ready for the other one in the AFC playoffs between the Bills and the Broncos. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Open to new users only. Minimum odds, -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800 894-7722.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more.
I completely agree. You are worth more, and your car's worth more. And we want to pay more at GiveMeTheVin.com for good cars, because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like Dark Mode 2. Log into BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Still working the crash that is 35 southbound just past Lamar off to the right shoulder. Then you've got the crash in Riverside is in the cleanup stage. Then a few minutes to unwind. 635 northbound as you approach 29. Scoot to the right through here. It is left lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, so we've gone through one game in the AFC. Let's go through the other game in the AFC. This is the game that I'm most interested in. It is the Bills and the Broncos. Let's start with the Denver Broncos. We asked the question earlier, who are you rooting for in this game? Are you rooting for the Bills or the Broncos? I was surprised the majority of you say that you're pulling for the Bills in this one. I asked Josh Dover, who covers the Broncos, do you believe that it's correct that the Broncos, they're a slight favorite in this one at home?
I do, and I think it's actually right. I mean, 1.5 is as close to a pick 'em as you're going to get, so you just get kind of a home field advantage. And with what this Broncos defense is, I think that's the right line. And you look at what the Bills, who the hell is Josh Allen going to throw the football to right now? I know he can run it, and he's got right now the best running back and running game going behind him, but I think that's the reason of it. This home field thing is the real deal. I think these fans are going to be going nuts because of what I said to start this. They've been wanting this for a decade. They've been chasing this for a decade, and now it's right in front of them. I think it's more of that, the home field and the defense, more than, oh, well, Sean's going to run the football or Bo has figured this out, because I still think there's fair questions on both of those guys on the offense.
Right now, we're talking to Josh Dover with Denver Sports from 104.3 out in Denver, taking a closer look at Bills and Broncos. This is the playoff game that I'm most interested to heading into this weekend. So let's talk about Josh Allen. You know, the Bills have the quarterback advantage in this matchup, and usually the team with the better quarterback advances in this thing. I do think the Broncos are a better team. I think they've proven that over the regular season, but you are going up against the reigning NFL MVP on the other side. Are you worried about Josh Allen? Are you worried about the Bills' offense heading into this matchup?
I mean, it'd be a fool for me to say I'm not worried about the offense or Josh Allen. The offense because of what they can do running with James Cook. And Josh Allen, if they have to ask him to be Superman, fortunately, he can do that. But like I said, with the playmakers on the outside. Now, his tight ends are a problem, and that's a weak link for these Denver Broncos, is covering tight ends specifically at that second level there. So, yeah, it can come back and bite them. But I also look at this of it's going to be a drag-it-out game. Like I said, if Sean wants to run the ball, it becomes, hey, which coach is going to commit to running the football and win this time of possession game? Yeah, we should all be afraid of who Josh Allen is and what he can be. But, man, I'm going to roll with history for this weekend, C-Dot. And what history tells me is that it's just the Broncos' turn to be the one that knocks Josh Allen and the Bills out of the playoffs earlier than they're supposed to go. So I think the Bills are the little engine that can't. You're right that Josh Allen's better than Bo Nix, but you know what? When it go head coach quarterback combo, and you know when you have the best of that duo, you're going to win a lot of games. They don't have the best quarterback. Josh is better, as you just said, but Sean McDermott can't hold a candle to what Sean Payton is as a head coach. So I mean, if I'm in Buffalo, I'm looking at this game as, hey, this is a crap or get off the pot for Sean McDermott. If they can't get past these Broncos right now, you might be looking for a new head coach.
Are you worried about anything else when it comes to Buffalo? Because I feel, and not just here, I'm sure you guys have had it nationally, it feels like the argument is, well, they got Josh Allen. Well, what else do you think they can do? Can they run the football effectively? Can they do this thing? Can they get stops on defense? When you look at this Bills team, is there anything else heading into this game other than Cook and Allen running the football that has you worried heading into this game?
Not in a major way, right? Like maybe on a 1 to 10 scale, I'll give Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid like a 3 or a 4. But that's not really as I'm worried because of who they are. I'm worried because of who the Broncos' middle and inside linebacker groups are not, and have a hard time covering those guys. So it doesn't really scare me. Like there's nobody on the outside. This Broncos secondary is really good. The Bills got some big dudes up front, but the Broncos also have 68 sacks. So I give an advantage to Nick Benito, John Cooper, Zach Allen on our side of things to go get it done. So I'll go like a, like I said, 3 or 4 scale, maybe with those tight ends. It's like a 7 or an 8 scale with James Cook, and then like a 10 of Josh Allen because we know what he can do. But outside of that, I mean, their defense is good at stopping the pass because nobody really has to pass on them because you can run all over them for 60 straight minutes.
That is the Denver Broncos perspective heading into Sunday's matchup. We'll play Buffalo here coming up in just a bit. I can't pick the Broncos to win this game. Maybe I am putting way too much weight into what I saw with my own eyes. But I saw the Broncos tied 13-13 with the 2012 Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas Day. That is an awful Kansas City Chiefs team that they put on Amazon. And the Broncos were in a dogfight with that team. They were in a dogfight the next week when the Chargers didn't even try. They didn't play Herbert. They were in a dogfight with them. Like the Broncos are just not playing good football right now. And I just don't think you can turn it on because it's the postseason. So that's the Denver perspective. Let's head to Buffalo to catch up with the road team. Here's Jeremy White giving us an update on Josh Allen's status heading into the game.
He had a couple of injuries in that Jacksonville game. He slammed his ring finger on a helmet. He had a foot injury coming in. He wrenched his knee on one of those quarterback sneaks. He got his face landed on by Trayvon Walker. Like, he got beat up in this game, and we've seen a couple of games this year where he's been beat up. One thing we've learned about Josh Allen is he could be dragging around 2 broken legs, and you'd ask him, how is he? He'd say, I feel great. I feel great. He did that this week. He said, I feel better than I've felt in weeks. And is it true? I don't know. He is not ever one to cry injury, to say he's hurt, to say he's limited. Like he's as tough as they come. People around here really respect that about him. So he's probably feeling something. It's just he's not going to let anybody know that he is under any circumstance. And I think he's the kind of guy too that when he goes into medical tents, like whatever, he's going to, follow the rules, but they want to do a scan on him after a game. He's going to tell them, I don't need to scan. I can walk. I'm fine. So tough customer, probably feeling a little bit. And that's something the Bills have to watch out for this week. And if they advance next week as well, because he takes hits. He's been taking more hits this year. And a lot of that is actually, Carrington, it's on him. He's not been as efficient taking the easy throws through the year. And that's kind of why he's gotten battered a little bit. But against Jacksonville, he did step in the right direction, and I'm sure he'll be wanting to do that against Denver as well.
Right now, we're talking to Jeremy White with WGR out in Buffalo covering the Bills. Where are you feeling with this defense? How confident are you in the defense? You mentioned it. They stepped up and made a big play against Trevor Lawrence in the first round, but you're going to have to do that 3 more times if you want to win a championship. I don't think you're necessarily worried about Denver's offense and their ability to exploit you, but it's a playoff game. One blown coverage, one mistake that can end your season. How confident are you about Buffalo's defense after watching them in the first round?
Reasonably confident. They lost Jordan Poyer at safety. He's out week to week with a hamstring injury. Poyer was the guy that came in for Taylor Rapp, who had a really terrible start to the season. And Poyer came in and, we thought he might be shot. He was with Miami last year, and he really helped solidify the back end for them. And Cole Bishop kind of rounded into the player he's supposed to be. Tre'Davious White has been incredible in his return stint with the Bills. Christian Benford's very good. They have been piecing together a pretty good pass defense despite a lot of injuries, a complete turnstile rotation on their defensive line, who's in, who's out. They've got practice squad elevations left and right. They're claiming Matthew Judon off waivers. They've got it's been a nonstop in and out. And this week, Ed Oliver has been activated from injured reserve, so he might be able to go. He's been out for months with a torn biceps, so that would help as well. It's not perfect defense. There's no way. They don't have the talent that Denver does. They don't have the talent that Houston does or Seattle. But Sean McDermott, he's winning with schemes. He's winning in the lab. He's confusing Trevor Lawrence with looks. And Bo Nix struggles against zone coverage, and the Bills love to play zone. So they'll disguise in the secondary, and they'll try to confuse him throughout the course of the day. And I think they'll have success doing it. So they have their faults, the defense does. But I think that from a coordinator standpoint and from a coach standpoint, just kind of building it all, it's been McDermott's best season. And there's a lot of love for McDermott this year because they've had success, and I don't think anybody would say from a roster standpoint that their defense has very many game wreckers really at all.
I'll get you out of here with this last thing. I'm picking the Bills to win this game. I'm picking them more because I don't believe in the Broncos, maybe more than I'm sold on Buffalo. But at this point, it just doesn't matter. I sat there on Christmas Day and I watched the Broncos. I just don't think that's a Super Bowl team. You struggled with 70% of Kansas City on Christmas Day. You struggle with the Chargers at the end of the season. I just don't believe in Denver.
I agree. The Bills fans are really confident about this Denver game, more than they were last week about Jacksonville. There just seems to be a feel of exactly what you said. I know resumes don't matter once we get to the playoffs, and I've been saying that a lot. Your resume gets you in, and then how you play in match play is whether or not you advance. I just don't think that Bo Nix is going to have the answers. And everybody thinks they can run on the Bills. Everybody sees their run defense is ranked at the bottom. And some teams are able to do it, and some teams aren't. The Bills lost a game to Philadelphia a couple weeks ago, and Saquon Barkley did nothing. The offense was why it all went away. So I almost wonder if Sean Payton comes into this game thinking everybody says you can run on this team, and a lot of Bills fans kind of welcome that. They don't give up 180 to every single rusher. They've had some pretty bad games.
Coming up on the other side, Rob and I are going to give you our favorite bet of the weekend. We're going to give you our favorite touchdown bet for the weekend as well, getting you ready for the playoffs. We also got a Kansas basketball game coming up here in about an hour and a half. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the divisional round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in, take a shot on an upset, or build a parlay that fits the moment. For me, I'm a Josh Allen believer, and I do not believe for 1 second in Bo Nix. So give me the Bills minus 1.5 in Denver. Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/local and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This January, Fridays just got cooler, only at Harrah's Kansas City. Polar Patrol is making their rounds, and you can win $500 in free play. Just come out and play at any slot machine or table game for your chance to win $500 in free play. That's right, Fridays in January, the fun is on patrol and the prizes are ready to pop. So bundle up and head to Harrah's Kansas City where the good times keep flurrying. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fellas, listen up. It's 2026, and this is going to be your best year yet when it comes to sex. You know why? Because you're finally going to take the advice and try chewable tablets from Blue Chew. Blue Chew's tablets help you feel and perform at your best, stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Be more confident where it counts. Blue Chew is a small chew for a big difference. You'll have flashbacks to your glory days, and dating has just got longer and better for everyone. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient for your individual prescription. Just like how we love to watch the athletes that we root for show up during the game's most exciting moments, you should be able to show up when it matters during life's most exciting moments. You can discover your options at BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use the promo code KFNZ at checkout. You just got to cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Go to BlueChew.com, use the promo code KFNZ, and get your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can test your sports IQ in real time with Robinhood Prediction Markets. It's not you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions all game long. You know the game, put it to use. Trade every play with Robinhood. Download the app today. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply by February 11th and get your application fee waived. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 degrees and certificates in fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills you need to achieve your career goals. Get your application fee waived through February 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
At Shawnee Mission Ford, you get it all. Pricing on a great selection of new Fords, plus a lifetime powertrain warranty, along with the 1-year Select Plus protection. From America, for America. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Heading out of town this winter? Snow, ice, and cold temps are stressful enough. Airport parking shouldn't be. Park & Go makes it easy with online reservations, fast free shuttles, and all spots are covered to keep your car protected from winter weather. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law. Mike's got this. We've got a crash now, Overland Park. Multi-cars involved. 35 southbound as you approach 75th. Right lane blocked. A stall heading out of downtown 670 westbound at Central. Scoot to the left, it is the right lane blocked. I'm out with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, so let me give you the money lines and the spreads for this weekend. This is all according to FanDuel, friend of the show. The Broncos, they are 1.5-point favorites in this game. San Francisco, they are 7-point underdogs in their matchup. So Seattle's a 7-point favorite. The Patriots, they are a 3-point favorite in their game against the Houston Texans. And the Los Angeles Rams, they are 3.5-point favorites on the road against the Chicago Bears. If I had to pick one lock today, I would take the Rams minus the 3.5. I feel most confident in the Rams going on the road and winning this game. Aside from Green Bay, Chicago hasn't really beaten anybody in a while. I think this Rams team is kind of the right combination of everything. I also trust the Rams going up against that defense. I expect them to win this game. So if you're asking me right now, you want me to give you my favorite bet of the weekend, I would take the Rams minus 3.5 against the Bears.
Let me ask you this about that game. Are you worried at all about Matt Stafford in the weather? Because his entire NFL career, his home stadiums have been domes. He played in a dome in Detroit. I guess SoFi is technically open air, but it's Los Angeles, you get my point. Historically, one of the rules of thumb in the playoffs is when a warm weather team goes into a cold climate with a quarterback who's not used to a cold climate, it is advantage home team. Matt Stafford is 600 years old, approximately. He's played his entire NFL career in a dome. Is there any worry about the fact that it's real feel -3 with a whipping wind in Chicago, considering Matt Stafford is not, I don't say adverse to weather, but it's not like he's played in the elements his entire career?
Yeah, I hear that argument, but I guess I would just say I saw Matthew Stafford last year go on the road to Philadelphia and played really well. I mean, it was almost a year ago to the day. It was January 19th of 2025. Matthew Stafford went on the road in Philadelphia, threw for 324 yards and 2 touchdown passes, and didn't throw an interception in the game and gave them a chance to win late. So I certainly understand the argument. But the way that Stafford played last year, and I think this is a better Rams team this year than last year's team, adding Devontae Adams, I just like the Rams team a little bit more. I feel like all season we've kind of looked at the Bears in smoke and mirrors, and we haven't really felt that way about the Rams. I think this is where you can only pretend for so long, and I don't think the Bears are an elite team. I think there's a chance the Rams are. I'm going to take the Rams.
I agree with you. I think the Rams are the better team. I'm not as confident as you in this game. There does seem to be an element of, I don't know, it's voodoo magic or whatever is happening in Chicago, because I've been fading Chicago the last few weeks, and I have looked like a fool. I just think the Rams are the better team. And I think we're headed for an all NFC West Seahawks and Rams NFC title game. But there's a part of me that wonders, can the Bears just keep doing this? And by the way, Caleb, I think now we officially can determine he's special. There were people who were doubting Caleb Williams. He's starting to show some wow moments, and now he's doing it in the playoffs. Like that throw on 4th down. We haven't really talked about it
Phenomenal
because
throw.
Eric Bieniemy rumors, but it was wow, that throw. It's not full Mahomes, but it is closer to Mahomes than it is Cade McNown or whoever other Bear quarterback comes to mind.
If you had to pick one player that you feel is a lock to get into the end zone, who would you bet on this week?
Josh Allen.
Makes sense. Josh Allen, especially given the odds. I'm actually a little bit surprised that it's not worse for Josh. I think maybe Josh Allen doesn't score a touchdown, but I feel like the Bills have kind of set up. If it's 1st and goal from the 2-yard line, they're trusting Josh Allen to go get it, and they're not giving it to James Cook. So the fact that he's only minus 110 to score a touchdown, and given how these apps are working, you can probably get a profit boost to get it to plus money. I feel like that's a no-brainer. I'll give you one on the other side because I don't trust the Bears' defense. I'll take Kyren Williams at plus 120 to score a touchdown. So both you and I both kind of like a rushing touchdown. Give me Kyren Williams. You like Josh Allen to find the end zone.
Neither one of our bets are like sexy. Oh, okay, you're going to turn 10.
Last week I liked Dallas Goedert. I thought Dallas Goedert but I thought he made a lot of sense to me. But yeah, I mean, but you got to think right now, you can go random touchdown players in the regular season. That's not really what the postseason is. You're trusting your dogs. You're trusting Puka. You're trusting Devontae Adams. You're trusting the guys that help get you here. So to me, that's kind of where your focus needs to be. You can take chances in the regular season, but the Rams are not throwing touchdown passes to their backup tight end in this game. That guy's not in the money. So you got to trust the guys that got you here.
I both agree and disagree with you. I agree it's safer to bet the guys in this round for touchdowns. There is always one, maybe 2 guys who get a random touchdown.
100%.
But it is an absolute dart throw. Like for your point about, you actually said the Rams backup tight end. was it Parkinson, the guy who
Colby Parkinson,
he caught the game winner against the Panthers. That is the outlier. It is not the norm. So this weekend,
to also be fair in the game, you also made your money before because Puka scored a couple of touchdowns. Kai, you know what I mean? Like you made your money earlier because they kept scoring so many points. But in a game that you think could be 23-17, Colby Parkinson ain't scoring that touchdown. You know what I mean? He ain't scoring that touchdown. That's where I think it's a little bit different. You were not going to the KU game today. How are you feeling about this one? You feel good about this KU game? They're 7.5-point favorites.
I feel pretty confident about this KU game. Now, I had this same confidence going into TCU, and I know they won, but, I mean, it was overtime, but win by 4 and a miracle comeback. But I am feeling confident that Tuesday, they turn the page. They have now realized what it takes to be a successful team in the Big 12. You can't just roll the ball out on the court. I also think we are inching ever closer and closer and closer to seeing Darren at 100%. He's starting to look a little more explosive, look a little more bouncy, and I know that Baylor has a quite literal G League pro on their team. If Darren Peterson's playing at his peak performance, I don't think there's anyone on that Baylor roster that can cover him. Just, there isn't. So I like Kansas tonight. I don't know I like 7.5 because I've only seen one great game from Kansas this year, but I am confident in the Hawks getting it done tonight in a weird Friday night conference matchup, which I don't understand why, but I guess Fox wants viewers on a Friday night.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a you want to play more of these kind of games if you're Kansas. You want that kind of national audience for people to check out your program and see your stadium full and all those kind of things. So yeah, it should certainly be a fun night. Is the weather going to hold up? I'm seeing some snow, and I haven't looked outside. I can't really see. It's dark.
We had some snow earlier.
I saw some people saying it was still snow. I don't know. I literally can't see outside, so I don't know.
Darkness now. We had snow earlier.
Darkness. Twin brother darkness.
It's a good weekend if you're in Lawrence to go up there and make a little weekend out of it. It's MLK weekend, the whole deal.
Yeah, for sure. We had a lot of fun. Excited to talk playoff with you guys coming up on Monday. We will be here on Monday. I know it's Martin Luther King Day, but we will be here on Monday. Hopefully you guys are here on Monday as well. We'll catch some of you guys on Tuesday, but for those of you on Monday, you know what? I'll let Daniel Craig take you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.